Okay.
We will open this meeting of May 16th. Wow.
Yeah.
Flies.
Yes.
Let the record show that all the selectmen are present.
You know, it hasn't been fun either.
Going.
I don't know, I'm having a great time so far. That could change.
Okay, so we are here early to talk about recycling. Joseph, you are up.
Okay, you have a copy of an email I sent out a little while ago, and I will read it. At the recycling committee meeting today, it was the consensus that we would not be having another scheduled meeting till the selectmen gave us a direction in which to go.
I take offense to that, by the way.
Well, we can discuss it.
Okay.
We will still be doing individual outreach in an effort to educate residents as to what is and is not recyclable. The committee has advised the select board as best we can after doing extensive research and much debate. We cannot go forward until such time as given a new mandate. So I'll stop right there, and I would love to hear your comment.
After town meeting, the recycling committee came in, spoke with the Board of Selectmen, and they wanted a direction in which to go. We all sat here and said, educate, educate, educate. So what part of, we're not going to have another scheduled meeting until the selectmen give us a direction in which to go?
Well, there's more to follow that general statement, and we intend to continue to educate individuals as to what is and isn't recyclable, and continue our efforts to promote recycling here in the town of Tilton.
That's the direction in which the selectmen would like them to go.
And that's what we're going to continue to do, but we have pretty much got a grip on that without having meetings every week, which is kind of what we've been doing.
Then that should have been a little bit worded a little bit differently, and just saying.
Well, I'm sorry if you're offended, but there was no offense intended.
Well,
Truly.
it's an inaccurate statement. We did give you, the recycling committee, a direction to go. And in fact, I just sat down in the meeting and gave them a direction in which to go. And they are an advisory committee to the selectmen, and they expressed that they didn't want to advise us on, trash and littering.
There was one individual who expressed that sentiment, who does not necessarily speak for the entire recycling committee. We're attempting, if I get to go to the next parts of this, to find out where we go from here.
Okay.
All right. That said, I would make a motion to give the Recycle Committee authority to implement an educational program to advise residents about the recycling program and explain its benefits. This would include dissemination of educational materials and updates to the recycling portion of the town website.
Second.
Well, okay, discussion. Why do we need a motion to have you do something the selectmen already asked you to do?
Thank you, Catherine.
I have made moves in the past here with regard to recycling, and it's been made very clearly put to me that I and/or the recycling committee was not to move forward with anything until given the authority or specific direction by the Board of Selectmen.
Hold on a minute. Are you talking about what was, the only thing I can think of is the labeling on top of the bins, what was to be put on the
Hey,
bins?
and I learned my lesson from that.
Okay, but if that's the case, and that's something that's going out to the public, we wanted to approve that before it went out to the public. That in no way reflects that we do not want you to continue to educate the general public
we're going to continue to do that.
So I think it's a miscommunication
We want
that's
to
here.
put, we want to put specific information on the town website. I included this information in a May 2nd email to the entire board as well as Tim. Tim kind of got the same thing out of this whole deal as I have, that without specific approval from the Board of Selectmen, that no particular selectman has authority to say, do this, do that. So I'm just looking for that authority, and,
You're talking more or less the wording of what you want to do the education with?
yeah.
We did make a motion.
Be
to
more
set forth
specific,
you guys
Joe.
to
Let's
do-
not
I want
be...
to update the website. I want to update the website with the information that I sent you on the 2nd. Not all of that is specific section and verse. Some of it is to be determined. I sent a picture. Is that picture okay to put on the town website? I just need authority to move. I'm all about moving forward, and we all are, but we're a little frustrated in recycle committee land, and we just need a little bit of go for it, and we'll be on our way.
So more or less you want the verbiage.
I don't-
Because we already set forth, you guys can go forth with education, we already said they could do that.
Right.
Well, educating them is getting that information
Right.
onto the website.
And this is the stuff he sent us that he was going to put on the website. There's a letter to the residents. There's what can be recycled, what to recycle, and then a graphic sheet
Right.
here.
That
letter?
right there is not necessarily for the town website. That was for Tim Pearson and for the Board of Selectmen.
Let's let Catherine speak.
A
with it.
mailing to the residents is not putting information on the website. So that would have to be approved by the Board of Selectmen.
Money's being.
I don't have any problem with the recycling committee maintaining a recycling, well, I don't know what you call them, place on the town website.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with notices that the selectmen may put directly on the front page of the website for recycling purposes.
Separate issues altogether.
But, and I apologize, I haven't looked at the website for a long time. If the recycling committee has a separate recycling area,
Page, right.
I don't mind if they put educational updates on that. It says dissemination of educational materials
We've
And
actually been
updates.
doing that.
and updates to the recycling portion of the website. So for me, the motion is two different parts. Mailings have to be approved by the Board of Selectmen, and I think that would come under dissemination of educational materials.
Well, I
Because it
read,
also costs money to do mailings. And updates to the recycling portion of the website, I don't have a problem with. I don't think-
all this, and I think it's great. Most of this letter right here, all by itself, these couple of paragraphs, answer most of the questions that people have asked me.
Without being too specific, because there's no specifics to give.
No, but I mean, I've had phone calls say, well, do we get a choice on which size can we want? That's one question, and that's addressed here. When are we going to get these recycled containers? What happens if I have more than what's in there? Can I put my own container next to it? You know, these are the kind of questions I'm getting, and pretty much, and exactly what all is recyclable. Now, you know, this would be, I think, a good addition for our website. People can go there and read this, those who have computers, and it will answer some questions for them. I didn't see anything here that whoa, what are you putting that in there for? or anything
There's
like
there's no way that I would attempt to place anything on that website that was anything less than educational material
Right.
designed to enlighten individuals as to what's going on with the town recycling effort.
So
No.
the website we've got is clear.
Yep.
Website, the consensus is, go forth and put educational material on the website under recycling, under the recycling page. However, your motion includes dissemination of educational materials, and I think that needs further discussion.
That was basically, my intent was to, if I wanted to hand out some of these. That's dissemination of an educational material. I would
anybody can
amend
do
my
that.
motion to delete this would include dissemination of educational materials, and make it read, this would include updates to the recycling portion of the town website, period.
Is it clear on the recycling page that it's from the recycling committee?
No, it's a town thing.
I can't, I don't know.
That would be important, so they wouldn't be confused if the Board of Selectmen posted something. You know, as a
You
notice.
could always put per order of the Board of Selectmen on anything we posted.
But if the recycling portion was clearly from the recycling committee, you know, just, you could put
So it's,
whatever.
So there would be a disclaimer at the very top of that page, this information provided by the Tilton Recycling
frequently
Committee.
asked questions on there
Yeah.
right now, that's all
Right.
that's there.
I know, but I think it's good if you have a recycling page, and on the front page it says recycling, people can click on that, go right to that page and get all the information that
But
they're
we've
looking
got that part set up.
That's already
It's
set up.
Really not, haven't updated it a lot, because I wanted to make sure that I had the authority to make those changes.
Do you have contact information on the page? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
There's very basic information at this point, and we do like
As
the
board
yard
members.
sale was put on there and
Okay.
so forth.
I just didn't know if it was ready
Except-
for me to send people there for informational purposes.
No, it gives you board members for the recycling committee, but you can't, the only one you can click on to send anything to is Joe Jessamine.
That's it?
Anything that I have ever received from that site, I pass directly on to the Board of Selectmen and everybody on the committee. We could,
Go to board members way at
we
the
could
end.
do a group mailing, and I'm sure Tim can make that happen.
Now scroll to,
Oh, there was, if you'd like to contact, please send an email to recycling, or email a recycling committee out. So you have two contacts there.
Right.
Well, I kind of thought I did. I've
did.
never gotten any questions on there, ever.
Good. Well, I don't send people there, I tell them to call you, but this would
I've
just,
answered phone calls, certainly.
this would
Oh,
just...
my goodness.
Oops, I'm sorry, I messed it up.
okay.
I don't know where it is.
So,
So my motion is amended.
My second is amended.
So the motion,
the motion is, I make a motion to give the recycle committee authority to implement an education program to advise residents about the recycling program and explain its benefits. This would include updates to the recycling portion of the town website.
correct.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next.
I make a motion to allow the town finance officer to draw up a contract agreement for use with pay-as-you-throw outlets, and at the following locations be approved for the selling of town pay-as-you-throw bags: Smoke and Barley, Winnisquam Market, Bryant Lawrence Hardware, The Store, Hannaford and Franklin, Walgreens in Tilton. I have two other these locations. Well, let me finish it. The Board of Selectmen may add or remove a vendor from this list at any time.
Second.
Under discussion, I have two others that are tentatively looking to become involved in this: Tractor Supply and Shaw's in Tilton. Market Basket told me no. Walgreens gave me a number that led me to a recording, that led me to a number on which I have a message.
about-
Hannaford, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, the town hall? I thought we were going to have them here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We don't need to make up a contract agreement
Well,
ourselves.
that was kind of, and we were also talking about doing them at the town garage
Yep.
as well. But, and we may or may not want to do them at the senior center as a convenience, I don't know.
They can't take money.
Well, there you go. Then, I'm,
But none of those would need a contract anyway.
Right.
No, that's why they're not on this list.
Right.
And the Board of Selectmen may add or remove a vendor from this list at any time. Hannaford's, I have contact with the corporate guy who has emailed me all of the documents
I saw that.
that they have, the copies of which I've sent to everyone. And Tim is waiting for final approval of the list to go forward and complete the paperwork to get to be a vendor at Hannaford. It's standard with everybody that they have put things in there. But the guys sent me half a dozen emails since the beginning of the week. Are we going to do this? I want to do this. Hannaford wants to do this. So all of the people on this are up for this. They understand the program and the process as best I could explain it, as far as there being no profit involved in this. There were questions with regard to could they sell the bags cash only? And my reply to them was, as far as I know, we can't tell you how to conduct your business per se, just what the price would be.
Right.
So, and as far as I know, that's correct, but I told them that anything that happened and at such time as final approval was indeed given, that I would get back in touch with these people and let them know what the outcome was, but they were all anxious to get in there.
Brings revenue into them.
My only question
Foot
is,
traffic.
why are we having the finance officer write up a contract agreement?
Well, we need a contract with, let's just pick Smoke and Barley because it's first on the list. We need some kind of a written agreement, I
No,
would
no,
think.
I mean specifically the finance officer, because we had a discussion a short time ago just about this type of thing, that he doesn't create contracts.
Okay, then pick a person. I chose the finance officer because he's the guy that, in my experience, has the most to do with the contract reading and writing in town
He
hall.
doesn't usually write them. We give them to him to peruse, and then if he has some serious issues, we send him off for an attorney. He's like the first step in the
I've seen him
attorney
write
chain.
contracts as well. That's why I
And
put it
then
in
that's what
there.
we were going to stop.
Fine, then
But, so
then
my
I'm
question
more
is,
than willing to change
Why
that.
wouldn't this be something that the recycling committee would deal with?
We
there
have
must
no
be-
expertise
there
in the
must be-
drawing up of contracts.
there must
None of
be-
us do. We talked about it.
There must be sample contracts,
I'm sure there are.
and they've investigated and gotten a hold of any to use as templates.
None whatsoever. Have we researched contracts? No. Will we? Sure. I'm sure I can
And my
get
next
templates for
question
this.
is, if we are considering having whoever provides us with bags is going to provide this whole service, why wouldn't they have contractual agreements? And why wouldn't they handle that portion of it?
They might. I don't know that.
Well, I think that
why-
this information is, this is where our disconnect is. When the recycling committee says we're not ready to make decisions, we're not ready to make decisions because we don't have all the information that's coming to us that we need. And I think that one of the really important things that we need to have is that first, we have to make a decision, are we going to go with this service that's going to be all-encompass? They're going to take care of everything. They're going to do the bags. They're going to sell the bags. They're going to make out with the stores. They're going to do the inventory with them. They're going to do everything with that. Then your motion is absolutely mute at that point.
Okay, I withdraw my motion. Let's get out of the bottom.
Well, no, we have to resolve where these
I withdraw
contracts...
my motion.
Okay, where are these contracts going to come from? Is this something the recycling committee would entertain to do? Because if they're not, then the Board of Selectmen is going to have to do something about it.
We have to do something about it because Joe has already said the recycling committee is not able to do that. So we, the selectmen, have to do something about it.
When we have the contractor who does the bags,
whoever
There
we,
must be something in there that's gonna say they're gonna do the contract.
Right.
They handle the money, they handle the bags, they handle distribution,
Right, and they're handling the back and forth,
so I
right.
think they would do it. I think.
I was going to say, if we go down here to the Waste Zero, and we go with that, from what I recall from listening to them talk about they would do everything.
Right,
The only thing that we had a problem with then was the boilerplate contract that they sent us was like way over the top. And we asked, and I believe Tim said that he had talked to them and that had been revised.
right.
Now, and then you, I believe I have it, sent us a copy of that particular contract. And I know I made a copy of it. So that would be, the next thing is if we have read that and what we think of the contract, the new contract that was written, and the fact that the last week that we got an update from Tim, he was recommending that we go that route.
But back to you, Kathleen. About your lawyer, get a lawyer or something to do it.
well, I guess we're going to have to contact, I mean,
Either way,
We'll have to-
if we go with the Waste Zero in their accounting,
Right.
I mean, if you look at the bottom where it is printing, warehouse, shipping, billing, and accounting services, so either, if we go with that motion and go with that service, we are still looking at someone to look at the contract with them. You still have to negotiate that contract with them.
Right.
yep, I've been talking with Tim about it. I've read the contract. I've got it all yellowed up. There's some issues there. He's been in contact with them, and yes, we can still, we're negotiating with them. So I guess one of the questions we're going to need to ask them is, what about the contracts between
The stores
the
and,
stores and
well, they're,
and maybe that's, and if they don't
in
normally
your
do that, then maybe that's a negotiating
if
point.
you have it printed out, is there a distribution, what does it say under distribution?
I think they would want a contract with the stores.
They're going to distribute,
They're giving them bags and taking money,
right,
I would think.
exactly.
Smiling.
So there's not currently a motion on the floor, is that correct?
If you withdraw your motion, no.
I withdrew my motion.
So then, all right, then I'll withdraw my second.
I would like to make a motion to allow the following locations to be approved for the selling of town pay-as-you-throw bags: Smoke and Barley, Winnisquam Market, Bryant Lawrence Hardware, The Store, Hannaford's in Franklin, Walgreens in Tilton. The Board of Selectmen may add or remove a vendor from this list at any time.
So you just added Walgreens on there?
I did indeed add Walgreens. I had forgotten to put it on the email.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye. Sandy?
Aye.
I make a motion that the town pay-as-you-throw bags be printed with the slogan Tilton Recycles. Any other printing would require Board of Selectmen approval.
Second?
Discussion?
There was some talk about having a 1-800 number or something on the bag in case there were quality issues with the bag, but until we actually choose a vendor, some vendors provide that service and some vendors do not. So that's why I just said that any other printing would require board approval. Because there's the potential for having that 800 number if we were so inclined.
My question is there any fee involved for that?
No.
Other companies that I talked with, there was a one-time fee for the artwork.
That stuff is all in the proposal. There's an upfront.
Well, there's a $800 startup service fee. And I'm wondering if there is a fee for that within that startup fee, because none of the
The
exhibits,
printing is part of the $6,800.
yeah, so that, and that's not itemized anywhere in this agreement.
Not to the best of my knowledge,
Oh, it's
no.
not, I've got it right here. It just says the WZ startup service fee is $6,800, so we don't know what we're getting for $6,800. But if within that $6,800 is a charge for printing, I mean, I don't need to have something printed on my garbage bag,
Okay.
but that's just me.
To answer your question, as part of this contract, there is Exhibit C, which is the services that Waste Zero is providing to the municipality, and Exhibit D, the retail letter agreement, which goes everything with the retailer, including how to place orders and thanking them for being part of it. So, I mean, there is information as part of this contract that would include the
That goes
retailer.
out to the retailer.
But it doesn't tell you what's covered in the $6,800, because there's service fees.
Well, we
There's
knew-
3 different fees that I could garner from this.
When she first came and talked to us at the
That's right.
recycling committee meeting, she said that the town would have the initial fee of the $6,800 to get everything set up.
And what does that include?
That is getting everything up and running and online.
Why isn't it in the contract?
That includes the bags, too, correct?
Yes.
No, you pay for the bags.
No, the
$6,800 is for the first
bag.
run of
Oh, that's
bags.
right, you pay for the bag.
The printing that goes
So
on
how
the
many
bags, the
bags are in that
warehousing of the
startup
bags.
fee?
Each and every one of these companies had varying amounts that they required.
So
Because
it's,
they're going to take out 2 different revenues from the monies for themselves.
That's really not, point of information, Madam Chairman, this has nothing to do with the motion on the floor.
Actually, it does, because
Really?
as I said, what is the cost of the printing something on the bag?
The cost is included in the $6,800.
So there is a cost to it.
It's everything is included.
But we could reduce the $6,800 price if we chose not to print anything on the bags.
Maybe.
yes, but I think we have to consider, if you don't have something printed on the bags, what if somebody finds a supply of lavender bags somewhere in a plane with nothing on them? At least with having the words Tilton Recycles, you know that that is the proper bag, and there's not going to be any arguments that are going to come from that.
Good point.
I mean, I don't know if there's companies out there that make lavender bags, but there must
Oh,
be.
we found one.
It
I don't know.
must be somewhere. So if it
Good
has Tilton Recycles, it's very easy for the trash men to say, that is not an official bag. That is, this is not.
Our thought was so that the bags were easily identifiable.
Right,
Very good point. So somebody couldn't
right,
buy somebody else's bags at a cheaper price.
right.
Good point, I like that.
All right. All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. I make a motion that the informational flyer provided by Best Way Casella be inserted into each sleeve of bags sold and be distributed with each recycle bins when delivered. The example of which I gave you right here. It's what is recyclable, how to do
I haven't
shredded
reviewed
paper, whether you can, it's all about what is and is not recyclable. It's issued by Casella Best Way. This is what they pick up.
The only problem is there's no phone number on here if somebody is confused. It does say watch the movie at zerosort.com, but if somebody has a question, there's no number to call.
No, there isn't.
So, I mean, if this is how you recycle,
Do we have a second?
Second.
discussion is, my question here, it says, into each sleeve of bags sold, who's going to be putting these in the bags?
The company has stated that they would put whatever we wanted inside of each sleeve of the bags. That's included in the price.
So the bags are going to be purchased, you have to buy 5 or something at a time?
I
You
think
can't
that-
just go in and buy one?
Some stores, the sleeves are of a certain amount, but there are a couple of stores that were saying, well, if I put a container out or a notice up on the front that you could buy them 1 or 2 bags at a time, would that be okay? As long as you account, you can break up you could buy the sleeve of bags yourself and sell them any way you wanted.
Okay, so that brings my question to, if the motion states that the informational flyer provided by Best Way Casella be inserted into each of the sleeves sold and be distributed with each recycling bin when delivered, then how are we going to put these into the single bags if we have seniors going into the store and just buying one bag?
You're not.
You're not. We could also
Okay.
have these materials at each and every outlet.
Yes.
Right now, Exhibit A from Waste Zero shows 5 bags per roll of the large and 10 bags per roll of the small.
Well,
So
there
I
you go.
assume that's how these will be
Right.
distributed.
And I need to get something clear before we go any further. What you just said. Individual stores can buy these bags, can actually buy them and sell them any way they want. Any price they want?
No.
Okay. That's what
No.
that's what I want to understand.
We tell
They
them,
could sell them one at a time were they so inclined.
Okay. I just got nervous when you said it, because like,
No, there's no profit. Each and every person that I spoke to on that list that we just approved understands that these bags are not a profit item.
Okay.
It's about community service, and it's about driving foot traffic to the smaller local
I thought you said, but
places.
I want to make sure.
I think the sleeve of bags I saw had a short list of what was recyclable and what wasn't, and the Waste Zero logo and whatever, and they stated that they'd put in the information that we wanted. But if they did a tri-fold, and these went into, there's a machine way of doing this, and they put them into the sleeves, we're getting this information to everybody, wham, bam, especially at the beginning. We could put in, we can change the printing. As the bag runs switch, we can change the printing that go inside. This is not what we're stuck with for the duration.
right.
But I do think we need some way of getting this into the hands of the people that need it. Once you've bought your bags and you've got the bags in your hand, the material, or this material, would be with the bags.
And it's already paid for, so we don't do mailing.
And you wouldn't have to do a mailing. Now, that's not to say that, I don't know what Casella intends to send out in that mailing. And when the gentleman comes next week, that should probably be one of the points of discussion,
Right.
that, we want to approve it, or we want something specific, or we want to include a letter, or whatever.
Well, shouldn't your motion then, to me, when you make a motion that says that into each sleeve and be distributed with each recycling, I think that you should give yourself some leeway, with the exception of when bags are sold separately or something to that effect. Otherwise, it doesn't give any room for that in your motion.
Actually, my motion, I think, is pretty inclusive when it says it's inserted into each sleeve. The issue of single sales is a separate issue from what I've got here. Now, I could definitely add on to this.
Deception. That's,
I could add on to it. I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot of single sales, but I have to figure that there's going to be some in some locations,
There may be, there may not be.
and there may not be. I don't know that.
Right.
There were some guys, Mr. Apt, at the store, casually asked that as a question, can I sell them one at a time? I says, as long as you don't make a profit on them, and as long as you account for all of the bags that you sold, because that's what you're going to get charged on, you can sell them one at a time, as far as I know. Again, as far as I know. But when we go back, when I go back, or when we go back, whoever goes back to these locations and says, you know, you've been approved as an official outlet for this, we can always say, you know, don't sell them one at a time, if that, it seems like that's going to be an issue for some, you know, on some level. Could do that.
We should be also told if they get caught selling one at a time at a higher rate, then they're no longer part of the system.
Absolutely. That was that contract thing I was thinking about. If they attempted to make a profit, if they, you know, didn't fulfill their end of the billing process or whatever. But
I have trouble allowing someone to be a part of a community spirited event that is very spirited in violating our zoning and ordinances continuously. And I don't feel that they should be on that list. That's my personal opinion.
Why are we allowing somebody to have a cart out in front of the store when they're in continuous violation of ordinance too?
We're not having them sell
no.
bags.
we're
That's-
getting
that's-
sidetracked,
I
folks.
know we are. but-
No, we're not.
This
You're
is
asking
about-
us to approve that on the list.
I'm asking you to improve what goes inside the sleeves of bags.
The other thing already got approved.
The other thing was already approved. We can revisit that at another time or directly after this, if you're so inclined.
I can't approve this without a contact number, phone number on it.
We can add the number, I'll betcha.
What
Did we
number?
get these? Did we get these from
That I
Best
do
Way?
not know. This is issued by Best Way Casella.
I would prefer to wait to talk with Casella myself to find out what exactly is going to go into the sleeves, and then we know what we can approve and what we're proving. Right now, you're asking us to go on blind faith to what they want to write and put into the sleeves of these bags.
They don't put the stuff in the bags.
No. they
We
didn't.
do.
Who writes it?
This was provided by them, we write it. I'm suggesting we use this. I made a motion to that effect.
That was
Don't
your
have to
motion?
do that.
That was your motion?
And we amend the motion just to ask them to please put a contact phone number on it?
Absolutely.
That
This
would
was
be,
the
Well,
best
except
information.
what's the phone number and who are they going to contact? I hope it's not Casella.
Who should they contact?
yeah, who would they contact?
I don't know, that's a good question.
Wouldn't it be, why wouldn't it be Best Way? Because they're the ones that are going to be picking it up.
Well, that would be a great, and I agree with Pat, let's wait and talk with them and find out what kind of phone number we could put on that would get to somebody who could answer the questions. Last time I called Casella, that was the last time I called Casella because I was sick of getting an answering machine that didn't call me back.
I've got Jerry Tweedy's number. He's the person that's in charge in Best Way now.
We can't put
The residents,
their numbers on it
the residents don't have those numbers,
Yeah,
Joyce.
and we can't put their numbers on it without their permission.
Can't find out what number.
Right.
Right.
They're going to be here, what, Tuesday?
No, the 20th, yes.
Okay.
That's right.
And we're going to be in a meeting, right? So we could immediately get a number and then approve this.
Right. All we're looking for is a number to go on here.
I withdraw my motion.
Well, could we just make it, use this particular flyer with an informational phone number on it?
Why don't we just wait until Tuesday?
Okay. I'll withdraw my second.
Because it's going to wait until Tuesday anyway.
I make a motion contingent upon approval of the final contract wording to use Waste Zero to provide printing, warehousing, and shipping billing and accounting services for our pay-as-you-throw system, and to allow the town finance officer to negotiate the best terms for this contract.
I'll second it.
I'm waiting for a
again-
price from Tags and Bags.
Again, we come into the same situation as we talked about a couple weeks ago, where we would not be putting, sort of humming, where we would not be putting the finance manager into a situation where we would be negotiating contracts.
Right. But the one thing I would say is, if we use any other service, happens to be an all-inclusive service, it's going to do everything for us.
Those and Tags and Bags.
Tags and Bags will do everything too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one that didn't get back to us for 10 months, despite repeated calls.
That
Catherine
doesn't
got
make
through
any
them.
sense, because I don't know them. It's not
I
like,
don't,
I don't know whether
I
it
don't
works
think it
there.
makes any sense either, but
But I've-
we had a very difficult time.
I contacted them, and I'm back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I've talked to them on the phone. But nevertheless, I emailed them last week and asked them for a price on the whole shamil, not just the bags. They'd given us a price on bags, so hadn't a third entity. But the third entity doesn't have the all-inclusive. And, I don't care, we can either wait for that or not, but
And this one does,
Tags and Bags evidently does.
okay?
There's whatever one we go with, whenever we go with it, there's a 5 to 6 week lag time between the placement of the actual order and the being able to sell them in the outlets, to have them printed, warehouse, shipped, and get everything up and running. Just so, no matter who we use.
Well, I'll know before Tuesday.
Okay, then this can be made, we'll make a
Yeah,
decision
we can address
on
it Tuesday. And I've already looked at their contract. I got a lot of stuff highlighted some of it's kind of contradictory and some information missing.
So we have the informational flyer, and we have the contract between the
There's still the motion on the
pay-as-you-throw
floor.
system. What?
There's still a motion on the floor.
Oh, what, this one here?
I withdraw my
Oh.
motion.
I'll withdraw my second.
All right, let me go back to what I was saying then. Tuesday, we will take up the pay-as-you-throw system, who gets the contract, the final contract.
Right.
We will take up the informational flyer that's going to be inserted into the sleeves. And then there was one other.
So whether or not you're going to bring up again on who will carry the bags and who won't.
Oh, well, that's already in the motion.
Yes, that's
It's
already
currently
done.
approved.
Yeah, that's in the motion. I think those are the only two that we're going to consider Tuesday.
That's correct.
Everything else passed, right?
Correct. There are two more important components.
How can we sit here and approve a vendor when they're constantly in violation of
Well, technically, we have that all over town, because even McDonald's has got one of those, I don't know, what do you call them, feather flags?
but we as a town don't approve them as a vendor.
They're all out there. I mean,
Do we as a town approve them as a vendor, though?
no, but did we just have a problem with Shaw's in there? Did they have?
They took them down, no, that was Applebee's. They took them down.
Applebee's.
McDonald's supposed to be taking them down, Pizza Hut's supposed to be taking them down. They're all supposed to be taking them down. They all
I wasn't
down.
aware that the store was currently in violation of our zoning.
Yes,
He's coming
they
in.
are.
They
got
are.
signs all over the place
And they've
down
been, yeah,
Oh.
and they don't have they have not met the original agreement since last November
Yeah.
about putting the post up with
I
signs.
did talk to him.
How come the crossbucks came
He's
down?
Well, I don't know. That's
did
why I
talk
brought
to
that
him.
up last
Signs-
week.
The poles went up.
So who authorized the crossbucks? The Board of Selectmen said put them up.
Right.
So only the Board of Selectmen should authorize taking them down.
I don't know who authorized to take them down, because I didn't.
I didn't either.
Dennis
It wasn't
sat
a
here
discussion
and
here.
told us about it.
Yes.
It
would've
wasn't
come up
Dennis.
He
It
told us
would've
that
come
he
up
had
at this
taken them
table.
down.
I have to assume it would have come up at this table.
Yes, he sat there and told us he'd taken them down, and I went, gee, I wonder who had you take them down, but I assumed I missed the meeting.
No, it was not discussed
I
at
I
a
missed
do
meeting.
not recall that.
Not discussed at a meeting.
Okay, then they should never have come down.
No, they should not.
What, the sawhorses?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Dennis said something about, oh, I took
They
them
did
down.
not meet the requirement, he did not meet the signed agreement.
Not that they would make much difference, except it was uglier than heck.
Code enforcement.
Yeah, well, I did talk to
But
him,
it's
and the signs are in order to go up
violation of a code
Signs are what?
enforcement, and yet we're
In
going
order
to
to
approve
go
him
up.
as a vendor.
on the post.
Well, simply
back.
make a motion
Okay.
to take them off the list.
I make a motion to take him off the list.
Second. I mean, it is a point. I didn't realize that he was that negligent.
Continually. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
All right,
Now, are any of these others negligent?
let's see.
Smoke and Barley, Winnisquam Market, Brant Lawrence,
They're all over signage.
Hannaford,
Take them all off the
Walgreens.
list. Take them all off the list.
They are all currently in
They're all currently
violation
out of
of our
violation. You better
zoning.
believe it.
Have they all been noticed?
Yeah. Everybody gets noticed.
They're all
Only some
currently...
people get picked on. That's what happens around here.
So, under this
My
theory,
question
Point of
is,
order.
nobody left.
That's the point.
my question is,
That would have been good information to have 2 minutes ago.
my question is, have we sent these individual stores notices of violation?
Everybody who's getting violated has gotten notices.
That's not my
Well, no,
answer.
the answer will be, everybody will get noticed, and everybody will take all their signage down. And if you're gonna go into the motion, we'll do this after Joey gets done with this trash thing, I'll go into it. We're going way out of the realm of things here. Go and finish, Joe.
Yeah, let's
Then
move
I'm
on.
gonna go on Rampage.
Let's go on.
There are two more important components to the implementation that were brought up today at the Recycle Committee. One is downtown and how
what? I'm sorry.
downtown.
Okay.
And how to implement this program downtown.
Right.
As it turns out, our trash and littering ordinance, as written, allows each commercial entity 5 bags of trash. Some of these commercial entities have 8, 9 tenants in the building, but as a commercial entity, they're only allowed 5 total bags of trash. The bags of trash shall not be placed on a sidewalk. Although, it has to be 5 feet from the curb. There's very specific things, but shall not be placed on a sidewalk.
It doesn't say that.
It says no trash shall be placed on a sidewalk,
Littering ordinance.
public right-of-way. I've got a copy of it right here. Or I did. No person shall put or place or cause to be put or placed in or upon any highway, right-of-way, street, sidewalk, curb, gutter, square, lane, alley, public bathing place, or the approaches thereto, or into any public water, streams, water course, or onto, if ice covered, or the approaches thereto, or land bordering the same, any other public place, or the private property of another, in the town of Tilton, any gardening refuse intended for pickup, any household garbage, leaves, clipping, pruning, bottles, glass, crockery, cans, scrap metal, junk, paper, garbage, old automobile or parts thereof, or any refuse of any nature whatsoever.
And that would be the littering portion. Now, if you read the amendment, in circumstances where the designated location is not directly in front of the residence or establishment from which the trash originates, no household garbage, bottles, glass, crockery, cans, scrap metal, junk, paper, garbage, or refuse of any nature whatsoever, or any noxious thing shall be placed on town property or the property of another unless placed in a trash can with a secure cover attached, no larger than 33 gallons in size and clearly marked with the name or number of the residence from where the trash originates.
Doesn't say where you could put it, though.
Shall be placed on town property or the property of another.
That's town property?
That's pretty general.
That's town property?
That's pretty general. The sidewalk is town property,
It says it can.
and the grassed area between the sidewalk and the road is town property. The only problem here is, it's not being put out in cans. They put it out in bags or whatever.
It also says it should be placed 5 feet from the curbside.
Well, but remember, there's amendment from 3/17/2001.
Now, that's the original date of the ordinance.
Yep. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's 10/25/06 was the amendment. And the amendment was made because of the confusion where they did not take that first paragraph and designate it littering, and then the bottom part, trash collection. Hence, the amendment. That we don't,
And
we're
it's
not,
still all out of compliance.
yes, this is, Joe is right, this is not enforced. They put way more than 5 bags out, and they shouldn't be putting 5 bags in the Main Street portion of town on the street. It has to be, according to the ordinance, in cans, clearly labeled with secure lids.
5 feet from the curbside.
No.
Part of the problem is on the very front page, it says a limit of 5 33-gallon bags. So we're saying you can put bags, but then we turn around and say it's got to be in a can. So, I mean, this whole thing really is not enforceable the way it is.
This, no, it is enforceable. The amendment says, in circumstances where the designated location is not directly in front of the residence or establishment from which the trash originates. I can put my garbage out in bags or cans or boxes or whatever, because it's on my lawn, and I'm putting it in the designated place where Best Way will pick it up. These properties along Main Street, they don't have any property where they can put it that they own, where Best Way can pick it up. Hence the amendment.
They're taking it out of trash buckets and putting it on the sidewalk.
Yes.
Right.
So, you know, really, if this is going to succeed, we have to enforce this town-wide.
Right.
Which leads me to my last item on my list of things to bring up, enforcement. We have an issue with the downtown area, certainly, and the enforcement of whatever designated spot or cans, or they got to be numbered or named, or however this is going to play out. And townwide, in addition to that, this is going to be a sticky thing, I do believe.
Yep.
The recommendation of the recycle committee was to require commercial entities, there are 5 bags of garbage, everything else after, because it's in the ordinance, everything else they could contract with an independent hauler or whoever they wanted to get rid of it. They could put in a dumpster on their own property, or whatever it was that they wanted to do with their trash. The other proposal that was brought up and discussed had to do with the very back corner of the parking lot out back and a chain link type fence with like green camouflage coloring thing or whatever, behind which all of the downtown trash garbage would be placed. We'd need to have cameras as part of that to be able to monitor people didn't just drop off mattresses, or they were using the proper bags or whatever.
That's quite an expense for the town to go through just for,
Just to get the garbage off Main Street?
Sure.
I think that that's one hell of a benefit.
You're talking about losing a couple of parking spaces.
Perhaps depending on how much of that lot we actually have access to, because I walked back there in the very far back corner, and there's a place that, there's like a little strip of grass just off the parking lot. I don't know if that's part of the parking lot that we lease or not, but except for Thursday morning, where they couldn't park in front of there, you could still park there all week long if it was just off and onto the grass, because there's room for quite a sizable spot back there.
Where the big tree is?
It's
That
not-
corner?
Yeah, it's in that general corner,
by the railroad tracks.
by the
Are
railroad.
you talking about a dumpster or just
No.
the trash inside a bin?
No, they put the trash would still not be allowed to go out before we have an ordinance for that. You can't bring your trash out until midnight of the night before.
Well,
Or we leave it on Main Street.
I think that there's got to be another solution to that, because you have this building was just sold over here.
Was it? Good.
Yeah.
Yay.
So then you have Mr. Panula's building, and he has a very large area which he could put either a dumpster or something in the back for his. And then the next building you have has access to the back, which they can have a dumpster of their own in the back there.
Our first recommendation.
No problem
Make
at
them
all.
get their own
But it
dumpster.
should be their own businesses to get that.
That was our first recommendation.
But you couldn't
Make the
force
commercial
them-
entities get their own dumpster.
We can't make them get a dumpster. We can only say to them that our ordinance states, you can put out 5 bags. Well, they can't put out 5 bags, they have to put out 5 cans.
Why can't the ordinance be revised to say?
They can at town meeting in March.
Change it to where we don't pick up trash
Or,
downtown.
they'll have to
your own
figure out how they're gonna get rid of the rest of their garbage.
If every property owner downtown was responsible for the trash for his building, now, if he puts a dumpster up, you can do like the River Place down there does. They have a dumpster out there for the tenants of that building. Each tenant has a key to that dumpster.
Where is that?
Cropsy's place.
Cropsy's place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I mean, all we can do is enforce this. They can be creative in figuring out how they're gonna get rid of anything beyond 5 bags. I mean, we own the parking lot by Tilton House, and we own out in back,
Right.
that part of that. There are places like Ideal Hall, they have no property. Though some of them actually have nothing. So, we could give up a spot to a dumpster, but they would have to monitor it. It would be up to them, and they'd have to keep it clean.
Right.
So what you're suggesting, Joe,
If
is
they
is
wanted to go
probably
that
a
route.
dumpster way in that far corner,
No.
or just a trash pickup site?
A spot designated for the pickup of the garbage. That was the second. The
So
first
no
one,
dumpster, just an enclosed fence that says pick up, and then Casella would pick up
not
there.
only that, but regardless of what time Casella came down, they wouldn't be blocking traffic. They wouldn't be having to dodge in and out of cars. And they could pick it up later in the day and just go over, pick it up, leave.
Or go out
But
first
it-
thing in the
All
morning.
the trash is gonna be in barrels, right?
Right, that's the,
Well, hopefully, we're gonna have to police it.
you would have to have it in
Just like it is
barrels.
now.
See, they don't have it in barrels now.
No kidding. But it still couldn't go out until midnight of the day that it was due for pickup. We just have a place that it would be corralled in one spot, that's all.
I think they should have to deal with it.
I think it's worth
As long
entertaining.
as it was in barrels.
Well,
I don't think
the first advisement was to enforce the current laws and to make those individuals that couldn't comply, there's one building over here that's got 9 tenants in it. They're allowed 5 bags of trash, not each, the commercial entity is able to put out 5 bags of trash, the building, as far as I read,
Yes,
and not 45 bags of trash, 5.
5.
So that means 40 bags potentially of garbage have to go somewhere.
I think it's interpretation.
I think it's a resident has the right to, if
It
they...
says commercial entity. There's no resident that could be construed as a commercial entity.
Okay, it says 5 33-gallon containers of trash per residential unit. An apartment is a residential unit.
See, I don't have your amendment.
I'm not reading from the amendment.
So
Well, what
that
are you
would,
reading from?
The front page of the littering and trash ordinance,
I would hope
second paragraph.
that it would include more, because you have many multi-unit apartments not down to Main Street that put out more than 5 bags of trash.
Look at next door.
Look at the next paragraph. Don't cherry pick this.
Right up here.
For the sake of this ordinance, commercial is defined as follows. Commercial means entities engaged in commerce, blah, 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 multi-family dwellings.
So it's a contradiction.
You
Yes.
think?
Yeah, I do. There's a lot of them in here.
No. We have those?
So there you have it. Each building is entitled to 5 bags of trash or 5 cans not to exceed 33 gallons
Oh,
apiece.
45 bags
Okay,
for a
but-
9-apartment unit.
So,
What a gray area that is.
so what about the commercial entities engaged in commerce? So that would indicate that each business is entitled to 5 bags of garbage.
Right.
Okay?
So you're telling me my house, I'm only, between the 2 apartments, we're only allowed 5 bags of garbage?
No,
10.
see,
No, 10.
there it is. You're a residential unit.
You're a residential unit.
So then each unit would have 5. So
But
now
it's
you're,
multi-family.
but you're discriminating against the residential units in the downtown.
I'm not discriminating against anybody. I'm trying to make sense of this and move forward because we got issues coming.
It makes no sense. That's part of the problem that we've had with it all these years.
If we put a little corral over there, they could bring their garbage right over there.
And then
Well,
we'll put a corral of garbage in front of our Christmas tree. Santa goes by. Wow,
2 times in
hurry
a
up,
year?
quick.
2 times in a year.
The only time I'm having a problem with it like, is when they throw bags in there.
Yeah,
it
and they will.
creates Rats.
And they will.
creates Mice. It
We
creates,
still have the exact same ordinance about putting it out midnight or the night before.
The night before, and it's picked up Thursday morning. Where's the problem?
I have no problem.
Picked up, it's not put out at midnight. Sometimes.
Well, we
it's
have
put
to
out at
start
10 o'clock.
enforcing our own ordinance.
Can I suggest that we deal with this at another time, because
That's
this
the
is-
other part of the
This is a
thing is
mountain.
downtown and enforcement, and those things do not need resolution here today. I think that the ones that I brought up definitely need some kind of a resolution.
Sure do know how to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's
Well,
right.
I've got to do
He's
this.
absolutely right. I
We've
know.
got to figure this out,
do.
because it doesn't,
I
it
totally agree
doesn't
with
work with the pay-as-you-throw.
Joe, I agree with you.
I still,
Really?
I do.
Excellent. For now.
I still feel that for the downtown, we've got to make property owners downtown put in their own dumpsters and collect their own trash.
Can't.
Why
This town ordinance allows them to put out 5 bags of garbage.
What are they going to do with the rest of
It's a
it?
Town ordinance,
Then you can do
because
that next March.
What are they going to do with the rest of it?
We got plenty of time to work it out.
What are they going to do with the rest of it?
I don't know, that's their problem.
Exactly.
That's their
And that
problem.
forces them to get a dumpster.
Nope, they could hire a private hauler.
Exactly. But why are they going to, where are they going to put this garbage? They can't put it on the sidewalk
Why not?
because they're only entitled to 5 bags being on the sidewalk.
All
Are you
right.
sure?
Do you
That's
have
what the
anything
ordinance
more-
says.
Do you have anything more to bring before us?
This co-op issue, I've got all sorts of stuff, but you know what?
that's part of our regular meeting, right?
Moving on. This ends the recycling portion of my presentation.
All right, Joyce.
Hit me, Jesus.
What?
I've been working on the mailing list. George Tweedy's called me twice wanting a list of the addresses so they know how many bins and what's going to be going to which places, he's nervous, so I've not released any addresses to him. So they're coming next.
I forgot to put that on my list.
Right?
Okay, because I'll have my list, I've taken out all the.
I don't think that's mine.
Currently using licensed haulers.
Okay.
So, when he calls again, or I can call him and just tell him that when we meet with him on Tuesday, we'll talk about this. Okay?
Yep.
And then the second comment is with this ordinance, because I did hear at your recycling meeting that it would make sense, that this is a major monumental change that we're making. It would be a good time to change the ordinance and fix the ordinance.
Well, isn't that the purpose of this Tilton Town littering ordinance, or is that not
That has
include?
nothing to do
That has nothing to
That's
do with
nothing to do with trash pickup.
So-
Only if they leave it lying on the ground and I have,
Okay.
like,
So one thought I had, since last
three.
week, it was, revelation to me that I didn't realize was rolling out both programs at the same time, pay-as-you-throw and recycling.
Right.
That the pay-as-you-throw could be later.
we haven't decided if we're going to have a moratorium period in between. Well, I understand a lot of communities do.
We would have a large portion of time in between the delivery of the bins and the actual getting the bags in the stores. Because the bins are 3 weeks away from being delivered, I think, more or less, kind of, sort of. The pay-as-you-throw bags are 6 to 8 weeks, depending on who we go with and who we choose, and when we choose them.
Before we leave that, have we decided, or did we bring up, or are we going to revisit the price of the bags?
That would be down the street from where we are right now. I would, if you will notice, I sent out a
Yes,
reworked
I saw that.
spreadsheet that tells about what happens when you charge $1.50 for the pay-as-you-throw 33-gallon bags.
Right.
And to the best of what I can figure out here, if we get 30% recycling, then we're going to be all right, as long as we get 30% recycling.
And if we don't, then we're not all right. We're operating in the red.
You're operating in the red anyway.
It depends on, it depends on how much recycling we do. The program's designed to realize enough money from pay-as-you-throw bags to pay for the pickup of the recyclables at the curb every other week in the hopes of reducing our MSW line upwards of 40%. Concord has realized in 3 years a 42% drop in that line. All I can do is give you the projected numbers based on how many households and the per capita trash and how much fits in the bag, because I weighed it. If you stuff them, and most people, I have to feel, are going to try to get the most for their money, and rightly so, we, at 30%, should be okay. Should be okay.
It just seems logical for us to start out with what passed the town meeting.
And I
What
would
passed
love
the
to...
town meeting was that the selectmen would set the price of the bags.
It wasn't $2.
That was asked at the meeting. It was very clearly stated that the selectmen would set the price for the bags.
Absolutely. And I would still like to revisit it before we get underway. But that doesn't have to be today at all. I think we've all had enough recycling for the day. I've had enough recycling for the day, personally.
I'll second that.
We got to do what we got to do. We're going to have to address it later, and that's fine.
All right. Thank you, Joe, appreciate it.
Oh, sure. You're welcome.
Moving on, we have minutes to approve, lots of minutes to approve.
I'll make a motion to bring the minutes of May 2nd, 2013 to the floor for discussion.
Second?
May 2nd? Did we do the 25th?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can
Or
we start
25th.
with April the 25th, 2013?
Sure, second that. Yep.
I just grabbed the wrong one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I read these.
Does anybody have any corrections, or there's a, just a spelling correction on the last page. Under, where it starts the paragraph, Selectman Dawson stated that no matter how he addresses her, those items are not considered hazardous. That's just spelt incorrectly.
Yeah. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 25th, 2013 as corrected.
Second?
On that back page, Selectman Dawson said that no matter how he addresses her, someone could think that I'm referring to myself, but I'm referring to Kathy Mitchell's letter. And I'd like to see her name in there instead of her. It would just clarify it.
Yeah.
All those in favor of approving the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Make a motion to bring the minutes of May 2nd, 2013 to the floor for discussion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Catherine, on page 5, under my report, Selectman Dawson asked if they included disabled people on their list, and I replied to that, yes, they do. Also, they will do this in the fall for cleanup, and I will add them to the, if Catherine let me know, I would add them to the list.
Yep.
and it's the Winnisquam Student Council.
There's a big blank on page 3. Replacements due to the,
Blank.
Technology, I could not understand that. Technology, I couldn't, it wasn't clear.
oh, that has to do with the franchise stuff.
Use your imagination.
Digital technology? It is digital, isn't it?
Is that a good guess?
Fill in the blanks.
IT.
I would just say current technology.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
yeah, just say current technology.
Yeah, current technology. Or the up and coming.
Yeah.
That sounds
Either
good to
one of
me.
those.
Yep, moving right along.
Moving right along.
Yeah. It might be upgraded technology, but I don't recall the exact.
Use current.
Yeah,
Current
current or
technology.
upgraded or,
Sounds good.
The word would work in that sense.
yeah.
That's-
Make a motion, we accept the minutes.
Second.
As corrected.
Second, as corrected.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Aye.
All right, I make a motion to bring the minutes of May 9th, 2013 to the floor for discussion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
On the first page, under littering complaint, I don't know, you go a couple lines down, it begins, has sponsored cleanup on Route 11. Mr. Rollins said if they receive, no. Bill Rollins called him back and reported that no has sponsored cleanup on Route 11.
Should be.
No one? No group?
I know his name's not no.
It's
I don't
on
know.
page
Is that Mr.
one.
No?
Oh, page 1.
Mr. No.
First
Under
page.
Town Administrator,
It's not no.
the first bullet, about halfway down. See where it says clean up on Route 3 and 11? The end of that next sentence there says no
That no one.
has sponsored, right. I feel like a bobblehead.
See, this kills me. The board needs to approve any mailings for all this information on the website. We're not going anywhere with education in this recycling thing.
You guys have been checking out.
I don't know, the way the night's going, we already shook up.
Are we ready to put anything on the website, on the front page, Joyce, that tells people to, you know, call and about the delivery of the recycling containers?
No, nothing has been put on the webpage for delivery of recycling containers. The only thing I sent to Tim to put on the webpage was the information and links to the sponsoring highways
May
and
9th.
the New Hampshire Beautiful Community Litter Cleanup Programs.
We should have something right on the front page, recycling containers will be arriving, please contact, blah, 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 if you have a specific size,
Well, that was
leave your name and address.
Write up, we'll post. Or tell me what you want, I'll type it, I'll post it.
It should be right on the front. The minute you go on the Tilton website, there should be a bullet there.
And who's going to do that? 1,400 residents. 1,400 residences.
Well, they're just saying, what's going to happen when you deliver them? They're going to ask them what size they want when they deliver them? What if they're not home?
Well, part of the mailing, our plan was that part of the mailing would say that they come in 3 sizes. There's
You're going to do a mailing?
Casella Best Way is
Oh,
doing a
Casella does
mailing.
that. Oh, good, that's expensive.
I was going to say, come on, we discussed no mailings, right?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
Our
So,
mailing list
the-
has problems.
And if everybody calls
get it.
in, well, look, we were going to send out the pictures of the bins, right? It's going to be on the website, got a picture of my smiling face, because Dennis Allen wouldn't stand there for a comparison to how big the bins were in front of the town garage. And they're coming in 2 weeks, okay? If you can't be there for the collection of the bin, and you want anything but the largest bin available, we were going to talk about contacting the Public Works Garage or myself, because we're going to go along for the actual distribution and bring those locations smaller bins.
So if you're not home, I'm sorry, Catherine, if you're not home, you're going to get the largest one available.
Unless you called in and said you didn't want the largest one available. Because we felt that 1,400 residences all calling in could just clog somebody's time up huge. Catherine Joyce, the town garage, who's going to be that person? Because it could be a horror show. As
Yes, it
opposed
could.
to, we're going to deliver the bins, you're going to get to see the bins, here's a picture of the bin, if you want anything but the big bin. And Casella, in their experience, says that 85% of all bins that they've passed out were big.
I like this.
I said we put Cindy's phone number on.
What's that?
This is what,
Well, we could put Cindy, the town clerk, right?
That's what I say.
So maybe after the bins are delivered, we could put something up
Just
that
saying.
says, if you have not received a bin, have a
Absolutely.
moratorium on the pay-as-you-throw.
Oh, absolutely, because the
And then
bins will be
put something
available
up
first.
after the bins are delivered that says, if you didn't receive a bin,
Call the Public Works Garage and we'll bring you a bin. I'll bring you a bin.
there you go.
Just a suggestion.
sorry, on vacation.
There's going to be glitches of sorts, but to try to let them all call in advance, and if I call and say, hey, I want a 35-gallon bin, and my wife calls in and says, I want the 96-gallon bin, now what? If you don't want the 96-gallon bin, let us know. That cuts 15% of it out right there.
How responsible is each residence for the bin they receive?
The address is marked down with the serial number of the bin.
I saw that, that's why.
Should the bin become lost, there'll be replacements at the town garage. If the bin is stolen, it will be replaced. They've never had to repair a broken one. They don't break.
So there's no liability on the resident's part? They're not going to have to pay for a bin if they lose it, or if they
If
back
it
over
disappeared,
with their tractor?
if they disappeared, it disappeared from the yard, Paul St. Hilaire said that you'll have 35 or 40 extra ones. And because sometimes they're going to get stolen and put up in a tree, or kids joyriding, or God only knows. Some residents will drive away with their bin, even though it says Tilton Recycles, and it's got a serial number on it, it'll happen. And best way, I mean, unless we had all of a sudden a wholesale slew of hundreds of bins disappearing, which they've never had before,
Right.
Okay.
it wouldn't be a problem.
To answer Catherine's question, Catherine, I haven't, everything has to be approved by the board. I haven't put anything on the website. You want me to sit down with Joe and we can do,
I like what they wrote on that recycling.
To put on there, I thought was very good.
Yeah, I think now that we discussed it, it
Tim's
makes
got a
sense to
copy
wait
of
till
that.
after the bins are delivered.
okay, is it on the website?
Not as of yet,
Any
because we're
minds?
waiting for tonight's vote. I've already sent them an email saying move forward.
We got a problem on the last page.
We have
Okay.
a problem with the last page?
It's blank.
It's a waste of paper.
Mailed earlier today, Joe?
Pardon me?
Probably had those little paragraph things on it.
Were you reading?
That's
Well, it says on the
Blank page.
fourth page that they
On May
adjourned.
2nd, I had a whole bunch of stuff.
So I am assuming that the
I
copier
sent
just
other
gave us an
things
extra
which
page.
included that
Pat's got a fifth
statement
page.
that she's got
You have a
right there.
fifth page?
Two?
Right down here on the bottom, it says 5 o'clock,
all going
Selectmen
on.
Motion
Motion to adjourn the meeting, all in favor?
Worked
All in
May
favor?
9th?
33 gallon bags.
Nope.
No.
It's like, wow!
You see, I gotta,
I think this was just a copier that did this. Because sometimes, if you back up and pull your paragraphs up, you still have that extra piece of
Part
paper.
of it, so maybe if you.
All right.
All right, page 4.
Page 4.
This is hard. Selectman Dawson asked the selectmen is they have looked over the lighting ordinance.
If they had what?
Sorry, it's just so hard to say. 1, 2, third paragraph, is should be if. Is they.
What page are you on, Catherine?
The 4th page. Boy,
Fourth
that hurt my
page.
jaw.
Third paragraph down.
Doesn't that sound awful?
Is they have looked over the littering ordinance.
Well, it must have been towards the end of the evening when that conversation came up. Selectmen asked.
I think that it would be nice, well, not nice, I think it would be best in that 3rd paragraph where we were discussing the violations, Joe asked about them, that we indicate that Officer Paquette, that his intervention, that he gave us it's the same thing, but I think by putting him in here that he did concur with it, just kind of cements it.
Oh,
He's much more of an authority.
no, because he gave us input afterwards, which Joyce and I will talk to you about. He's given us input afterwards.
No, he came right up here.
Yeah, he.
I know.
And he stood right at the table during the meeting and said, yes, the violation is. That was during the meeting.
In the meeting, yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
but then he gave us more information after.
Then
He gave us more
information
afterward. I'm just
afterwards.
saying, when he explained what a violation is.
Right.
That's all I
So,
wanted to
yeah,
hear.
give him credit, yep.
Okay,
I see where you're going. I thought you were going in another direction.
No,
Yep.
no. Just,
Gotcha.
he explained what a violation
I'm all
is.
set. I'm cool.
And everything except the
The worksheet for the pay-as-you-throw bags.
we done?
All those in, all right, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 9th, 2013 as corrected.
second.
All those in favor?
Wait,
Aye.
Home now.
All right. Joyce, you're up.
Joyce, you're up.
do you want me to do my regular stuff, or we going to do the...
Regular first, we're all going regular.
We're all what?
We're not regular.
I was gonna say, what did you say?
We're all going regular, I said.
Oh, I thought you said we were all born regular. Speak for yourself.
Not say that.
First of all, I'll have a warrant for the board to sign next Thursday night, and the tax bills will be due July 8th. Okay?
July 8th. It's early every year.
They'll be going out as soon as Cindy receives the warrant. And most of
Gives him a long time.
well, they won't go out till after Memorial Day.
Oh,
I'm sorry, yeah, after that last week of May, they'll go out.
I didn't know it took her that long. Okay. What am I saying? I've had to stuff those envelopes.
Okay, just quickly, I had emailed you that the hawkers, peddlers, and panhandlers workshop has been rescheduled for June 4th. at the local government center from 9 to 12:15. I had 4 people that had wanted to go. Do those same 4 people want to go?
What day of the week is that?
June 4th? Oh, I didn't bring my calendar.
Oh, I got, what am I saying? This one right here. It is it a Tuesday?
Yes.
It's a Tuesday.
That's what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Yes.
'Cause
What time is it?
9 o'clock. It's at local government center.
12?
12:15.
12:15, that's random.
Okay?
Catherine, you still want to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't I do dates while we're on dates? I've confirmed with the New Hampshire Department of Transportation Bureau of Highway Design to hold their public informational meeting on the bridge work on I-93 that goes over the Winnipesaukee River. That will be Thursday, June 6th. Here at the Town Hall, they'll set up everything at 6:30, and then at 7 o'clock, they'll make a formal presentation. The other meeting that's been confirmed is with the Board of Directors of Gaslight Village.
When is that?
Okay, it said they'll be glad to come in on June 13th. For now, she has 6 o'clock scheduled and 2 board members for certain, and maybe 2 more will come. So she's trying to get more than 2 board members
So they're coming at 6?
at 6.
I won't be here
This
that
is
week.
Gaslight?
Gaslight. You had already mentioned the meeting that you're having next Tuesday with Best Way. This is a question for Joe. At the last meeting, I had presented the board some updates on the names and addresses of all the facilities, and I checked on Lockmere Village. They don't really have an office. They use a pump station that they have that's located in Belmont. So they said they really wouldn't be interested in having any cable drop, plus the fact that it's in Belmont, they would have to make the request to the town of Belmont.
Did you say next Tuesday or next Monday?
Tuesday.
The
The
20th.
Best Way.
The 20th is Monday.
That's Monday, I'm sorry. I said
Our meeting with
Tuesday.
Best Way is Tuesday?
Monday.
Is Monday?
The 20th.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's right on the calendar.
Wow.
At 11 a.m.
1 o'clock, yeah.
I got the 11 o'clock right. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I thought you said Tuesday, that's why I wanted to
I
correct that.
very well could have said Tuesday.
Oh, you did.
You did, I wrote Tuesday.
So Joe, did you already give that information to Sean, or do you want me, to Scott, or did you want me to?
Well, it
Email.
should come from a town official, I think, so you
Is that okay? I'll say Joe said
personally
okay to
think
send you.
they should come from yourself,
Okay.
because I'm only there as a fact-finding and
Okay. I'm almost completed on our list of addresses of residences and businesses, so this is good that I can get it cleaned up for your meeting next Monday. There has been a lot of activity at Ernie's these
Yeah,
past
the
2
dirt
days.
pile's getting bigger.
Well, I'm just going to give you, I've been in constant contact with
we got
Rick
quite a hole
Rick
over there.
Vandenberg, because I haven't been able to really get out there and observe anything, and as I did get pictures, I forwarded those to the board and
Why has he
to,
still not responded to Kathy Mitchell's letter?
because it's part of the formal response. He's not doing an individual response to her, it's part of the ABCA.
Okay, when
right.
is that date?
There is no date. He has forwarded the draft and Kathy's letter to DES and to Kathy Castagna for their comments. They want them to review the letter and then review the APCA, because they're the ones that finally weigh in on it.
Isn't it our decision or the Conservation Commission's decision on whether or not we want that stuff removed?
Not necessarily, because, I mean, as far as any of the metals or anything that's on the surface, someone had said there was car parts and some metal and thing, yeah, that they'll naturally take out, but in terms of actually removing the PAH soils, that may do more damage to the environment than
He
than leaving it in
specifically
place.
said that they would bury it. The
Cover it.
shingles.
Oh, no,
the
they
car
would, no,
parts,
they'll
the
pull
one
that out. They
Well,
said,
but he said he would bury it. That's what was said at that meeting. I was there.
yeah, there were two items that were in the.
And he said they'd
comment.
bury it, and I don't want it buried. And that's addressed in Kathy Mitchell's letter.
I don't want it buried either.
Yeah,
And I'm sure that when you get the final draft, it will say that those items are not buried.
okay.
He had mentioned that,
Why can't we get a letter to Kathy saying that they're not going to be buried?
He's going through process.
because it's a formal process that they have
Right.
to go through with
Yep.
any public comments that come in. He has to incorporate those public comments and send it to Kathy and Jen. And then once they make their comments on it, then we'll have a final APCA to present.
This is very different than the process we went through at Riverfront, but that's okay.
This is a different funding source. This is through EPA.
We had funding through EPA. That's all right.
A cleanup grant, an
Yeah, let's
EPA
go.
cleanup grant?
Let's move forward. It's okay, as long as I just,
Both of her items, he sent her letter directly to both of them. So,
they'd actually, the Conservation Commission would actually appreciate those comments, so that's not a
Yeah.
bad thing.
No, it's not.
okay. Yesterday morning, Jennifer Martz from DES went up and looked up at the site. When they pulled out the hydraulic lift, they found a drum full of waste oil.
I saw it.
Okay? And their soil around that drum was contaminated. So that's why the piles keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What he discovered when he was pulling out the soil, and I can't be specific about what areas and exactly where it came out because I wasn't physically there, and we'll be writing up this report, so I don't want to give you any information that I'm just not qualified to give you. But when they got down to the water table, there was a sheen, an oily sheen
A
on the
rainbow.
water. So they notified DES, and when they continued digging, there are no tanks there, but there were some old UST piping that had never been pulled out. And this was in the front of the building. There used to be an island where they used to pump gas.
Yep.
Okay, so they think that that's where it was coming from, but there are no tanks, Catherine. Prior to the, when they did their very first site assessment back in the beginning of 2011, spring of 2011, they did ground sonar, and they did not find any tanks. And then when...
Didn't find the waste oil tank.
It was in the middle
Right,
of
that
the
was,
wall.
that was
I know.
buried underneath
But you
the
can-
lift in the
You
building.
can count on them in
concrete.
all those old garages,
Right, so you were right.
unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, so anyway, so the good news is that, because Jen came up and they took additional samples of everything, of soil and the groundwater, this is eligible, or most likely would be eligible, for the state's odd fund. So Jennifer and Crederi Associates have already started all the paperwork for that, because
Hooray.
our cleanup grant was specifically for hazardous waste. It was not for petroleum.
Yep.
And remember they said all along, you know,
Right.
this would qualify, so we're going to need it. As far as the, that $5,000 insurance deductible.
Right.
I have to get in touch with our insurance and have them give me a letter that specifically states, and a copy in our member agreement, that they don't cover that cleanup. And then we send that to Jennifer. And the way the program works is that there will be some contracts for the board to sign to agree to participate in this program. The state goes ahead and pays for it. And then they would bill the town for $5,000, up to $5,000. That's the maximum of the deductible. But we in turn then would use the grant, the EPA grant. Now, I said, well, we don't have anything in writing yet, but right now, RIP is down at the annual National EPA Conference in Atlanta, so all the head people are down there, and he said that he is talking to them to get clarification on whether or not they would pay that.
Connections are nice.
There should be money in our $200,000 grant, because we had budgeted $3,000 for attending brownfields training, which is a requirement of the grant. You have to attend some brownfields training. So we put in $3,000 for that Atlanta conference. And I had asked, hey, Tim, you want to go to Atlanta? But we're just too busy. We couldn't go. So I'd asked Kathy if that $3,000 or a portion of that $3,000 we could apply to, actual cleanup activities. And she said, sure, just put it in a letter and it would, so that could qualify.
I would want it.
So now,
I mean, we have money, we can move some money around in our existing budget.
this is a perfect
I like Atlanta.
opportunity when the state bills us
I like Atlanta.
to sit 10 years on the pan.
We could ask them if we could, if they could just,
Hold on until
hold
we
on
make
to it.
another
We'll make
decision?
payments on it over
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
No interest.
This would be a perfect opportunity.
That was the deal they gave us for Silver Lake Road. You just pay for it.
Okay, so...
Just saying.
They've collected tons of samples, so it's going to take a little while for those to all be analyzed. Jennifer is starting the paperwork on her end, so that will be coming. Most likely, there will be another change order coming to the board because having to pay for the disposal of this waste oil, and some of the additional soil samples. They should, they'll do their best to stay within that budget estimate they gave us, but, if Jen says no, she wants more soil samples, well, then they got to do more soil samples, but he thinks we're okay there.
Do they think they've taken all the contaminated soils out, or could she say, no, take more soils out?
She very well could say, right now, he feels that, and the word is demarcation.
Yeah.
That they have sufficient margins, like they've gone out far enough and deep enough with their samples, that there's a line of demarcation where you can see that it is
Clean, okay.
decreasing. So that's good. So that's good. Good news. So if people ask you, why are those piles of dirt sitting out there? It takes a while because the samples get sent to the state, they get sent to the facility that's receiving the dirty dirt, and there's paperwork that goes back and forth, so it's going to take a few days to actually have it removed.
I didn't see any signs there that tells people to stay off of them. I mean, a lot of people fish along the river there.
Hazardous waste.
They pull in there with their cars, they got a couple of
Okay, now,
kids.
told me that when the excavator was working, that he had put up barricades
But is there any signage?
to say, keep out.
Keep out,
Hazardous waste.
hazardous.
I'm surprised you don't put those in big dumpsters lined with plastic.
Well, because they'll take it up and put it in a dump truck and then dump it on site wherever they're gonna burn it or dispose
They
of
can
it.
dump those too, but
No, that's true, they could use a garwood, couldn't they?
That's
because
a good point.
You don't?
Yeah.
I thought they had it barricaded.
When the rain hits it?
They need to have some signs up.
Is it
If they're gonna, that's gonna be there for a while.
They have the lamest,
Hopefully it'll be
the
gone before the end
lamest
of
orange fence
Before
around
tomorrow?
that 15, 20-foot deep hole.
Thursday.
Yeah, think of the weekend. If I stepped there with my grandkids to fish, they'd be all over those piles of dirt. I don't care what they get for
Yeah,
barricades.
you're right. You're right, they would.
Not your grandkids. You wouldn't let them. I'm just saying.
Kids love piles.
Came on the computer?
Oh, yeah,
Lum.
that's right, it's like a kid magnet every
Yeah.
time.
It would be awful to. They probably wouldn't get sick, but anyway.
All right, I have lots of other things, but I think for the sake of time, let me just check here. The letter from DOT that we had received last week, did you all have a chance to think about it? I did have a conversation with Senator Forrester. She had emailed Pat, and then I just, perchance, had happened into her at Walmart when I went to pick up my son's glasses, and we had a conversation, and she wanted to know if, if the board had made a decision and what you wanted, because she would support whatever the board wants to do. So if you want to tell me what you want to do and get a consensus, we can get a letter together to reply to all these people.
I haven't done much more than have the shock over it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that were copied on it, and then somehow to communicate this to the citizens that came to the meeting, residents of Caleb Hill, put it on a website or however.
So
I've had one citizen.
I thought she
ask a
was
question.
going to respond to the letter.
She will, but she will, her letter will be responding that she supports.
I thought we were waiting for her response. I wondered how she was going to respond to that.
Yeah, no, she wanted to hear what, the board had made a decision.
Well, we need to get this road committee together.
Yep, we do.
Yeah,
And,
are we okay with his response, or is there something else
Well-
you want her to do? We want her to, yes, send a letter supporting what your consensus is.
I would let her know that I would thank her very much for, her willingness to support us, and that as soon as we can organize our road committee and discuss it and advise the selectmen and have a plan, we'd let her know. That's my opinion. I don't think we can sit here and make a decision on that letter right now. I'm not willing to agree to change the classification of those roads. I mean,
I could never, ever, as long as I'm alive, or even if I was dead, support the state doing anything but taking care of the roads that are the state's, period.
Correct.
That's just me.
No, I'm agreeable.
they lead, you have Clark Road, which is the direct route between the hospital emergency services to the state-owned veterans home. You also have some purveyors that use it. You have Winter Street, which is also a direct route to the state-owned facility veterans home. You have Caleb Hill Road, which clearly is a connector road between Tilton and Samerton.
Yep.
Right,
The only if one would be Clark.
okay, but on Caleb Hill, they were proposing to do, on the two worst sections, they didn't propose total reconstruction of Caleb Hill. They
But
just
we can
want-
still apply for
You can,
reconstruction.
so, but what they were proposing was to do this summer or fall, that, at 210 Caleb Road, and then they were going to, in next summer, 2014, take care of the icing up that drainage problem.
Right.
It's just going to get worse as the years go by. If we're going to do a road project, let's do a road project, but, let's make a deal with them. I wouldn't agree to change the classification. I think, like I said, the only one that's iffy is going to be Clark.
But you didn't want him to go ahead and start doing the work on Caleb?
Oh, sure, he can do whatever he'd like.
Well,
It's not going to
except
cost us a dime.
Well,
And
Well,
then
except whatever they want to do. I mean,
you don't want
Not
them
going
to
to cost us
move up
anything.
icing.
well,
Do you want the state to spend money fixing their roads?
Any fine,
It's gonna
at
cost
least
us
say, look.
I don't want the town to spend
The
money
icing
fixing their
is a
roads
problem
and
with
then
the
accept
bus.
total maintenance
Right,
for
with the school
the town
children.
until
He's
health
not going to
freezes
do that
over.
until
Me too.
2014. And then tell him we'll get back to him.
I would say move up the icing to
Yeah, move that
2013,
up.
because that includes the busing
That's
of
a
the children.
safety issue.
Right.
Right,
Right.
okay, so move up
Safety.
the
Right.
icing to 2014, and then, yes, make that repair at
Yes.
210, and that the selectmen and the road committee will assess their proposal for Clark Road, which does extend up into Colby,
yeah, just barely.
barely, and Winter Street, and get back to them as to whether or not we'll be participating in the municipal.
Could we
State
put a
road
notice
program.
on the website asking for members for the road committee?
The town people should have the opportunity to at least listen
Yep,
to what they've got to say.
That's right.
I don't support it, but that doesn't mean that the town as a whole might.
right.
They might.
Have you talked to Senator Sanders? He might be
Yep,
excellent.
but Center goes up north, but he's willing to serve. Dave Wadley is willing to serve.
Yep, that's another good one. Maybe Dennis Allen, get him involved, too.
About
Well, Dennis
Joe
Allen is-
Plessner.
Dennis Allen has always been an advisor to that
About Joe
committee
Plessner?
anyway.
I can certainly ask Joe if he would be
Yep.
interested.
He would be a candidate, and he lives on one of the affected roads.
Right,
Could be an ideal candidate, yeah.
yep.
I was going to
I
call
will-
Bob Hoey,
Yeah, that's another one.
because he indicated that he was interested in
Yep.
serving on committees, and there was
Right.
somebody else that,
Well, I think Joe would be good, too. He's got a background in it.
And he's been a former selectman, he knows the process, and he's familiar. So any kind of experience we can get on that committee would be a good thing, I think.
I will ask him when I get home. and-
Chuck Mitchell.
Just don't ask, just say that you made a motion to...
I make a motion to approve Joe Plesner.
Now, Chuck Mitchell had asked if this could be
Happy
posted on the
anniversary.
website, and I said the selectmen haven't even had an opportunity to discuss it yet, so I don't want to get ahead of anything. I did give
What's
Chuck
that?
a copy of this letter, because it's right to know he could have a copy. He wanted to know if this letter could be put on the website,
This letter?
the letter from DOT.
I don't have an objection, but for what purpose?
So that all the citizens that came, if they want
Oh.
to know what was, what's going on, and then we're putting up a notice saying we want people to serve on the road committee.
Well, what about all the ones that you got your email address?
I think on the town website might be a great idea.
Yeah, putting it on the town website.
And then personalized to those who we know
Right,
were here.
On those that I have them, yeah.
yep,
I need a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
And that
Always
the
go for men on
selectmen are,
committees.
well, and then also we can
Oh, Jesus.
give them copies of our letter.
I'm just saying,
I'm going to abuse you.
you said it.
I think she just assaulted you, didn't she?
That
I
isn't
think
even
that's a
half
great
of what I was
plan.
going to do to him.
Thank you. All right, and then
All right.
I'll save my stuff
No,
And that's battery, no, that's
That's a good
battery. I think that they call it
for
battery.
you
No,
to
no.
sign.
No,
What I'm going
assault?
to do to him in the parking lot will be battery.
Okay, all right.
I did there.
In front of the chief of police. How bold.
Literally, this is,
well, that happened, okay.
Catherine sent me the ordinance that you had
Thanks, dear.
adopted last
I
week.
know you're not.
Put letterhead on it. I numbered the pages. She had already reformatted it, which was great. That's what I was starting to do when you came in, and you had already done that. So this is for the board to sign, and then Cindy will record it, and then I'll scan this, it'll go on the web, and everybody and their brother will get a copy of it. Then we put it back in there so it doesn't get wrecked. Oh, I found one more thing.
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Rick Silverberg from the WRTA, he has a grant that the deadline is May 20th, wanting a letter of support from the town. The grant is called Bikes Belong Community Grant Program, and he's asking for $10,000 for direct non-federal match for part of the Missing Link Bridge, and he gave me some little things to put in that, so it's okay if I write a letter and say that the Board of Selectmen and the town support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing.
Because I didn't get a chance to do that for your signature today, but he needs it by the 20th.
Joe, yeah? No?
And I'll use a lot of what I've already
Does he
used.
need us to sign, do you need it to be signed?
I can sign it, say, on
Okay.
behalf of the board.
Yep.
And I'll just use a lot of the language that's been in our other grant applications. But before I did that, I just wanted you to know that we were applying for some more money.
Okay. We need to make a motion to, number 2 on Tim's report.
Yep,
Gotta get it. Hang on.
The signing
just on insurance,
of?
To sign
just in
2
case,
tans consisting of $50,000 each.
just in case.
We will use them only if absolutely necessary. So I will make that motion.
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Joyce, this is that. Okay, we have, Belknap County Boards of Selectmen, please be advised that the delegation will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, May 21st at 6 PM. The meeting will be held in the multipurpose room at 34 County Drive, Laconia. The purpose of the hearing is to seek input on a supplemental appropriation for the nursing home. The additional appropriation would add $200,000 to the nursing home medical services expense and $400,000 to nursing home revenues, resulting in a tax decrease of $200,000. The delegation will take a vote following the public hearing. If you have any questions or additional information in advance of the hearing, please contact the county administrator at 527-5400. So that's, and there's a letter of deficiency for the Water's Edge Inn in,
On their water system?
on their water system. And I guess I'll read this in its entirety because it's a resident. And then we'll go to reports. This is to, he didn't send this to the Board of Selectmen. Are you just putting this in? This letter from,
He sent that to everybody.
he did send it to the Board of Selectmen? In
I got a
email,
copy
right?
He sent
of
it to all
but I think it
individually?
came from Joyce.
Yeah, okay.
Send it to the Board of Selectmen, send it to the newspapers.
Attention, Board of Commissioners, it has become increasingly apparent that I can no longer be effective as a commissioner, and in effect, it has become somewhat apparent that my continued participation as a commissioner acts as a deterrent to any meaningful progress of the organization. It is not now, nor has it ever been, my willful intention to act as an impediment to the district. However, it appears that there are those who view this differently. I have been involved in the district as a commissioner for some 25 years, and I am therefore in my 9th term. I have run for the office of commissioner 8 times, and I have been elected and re-elected to that office by the members of the district 8 times. I have always felt that in the field of elected municipal service, that if a person is doing their job and doing it well, you would reward that person by keeping them in office or re-electing them to their office if they so choose to run for re-election at the conclusion of their term. The aforementioned follows good, sound logic. However, what I am faced with, and ultimately what the district is faced with, is illogical people who have had and are having illogical influences on the district. It has become increasingly apparent in the last year that the district's best interests have taken a back seat and have become threatened by those who would seek to punish it because of a personal vendetta against Chief Ober. Chief Ober has done an admirable job with the district primary assets, the firefighters who serve the district. He has, with the help of the deputy chief, been successful in bringing together a combination department of career and call firefighters, the result of which is an organization second to none in the entire Lakes region. The level of professionalism and training is one that looked upon by many in the industry as inviolable. All of this has been accomplished in spite of the tenure that has been set by the majority of the Board of Commissioners. With the re-election of Commissioner Clark, it is brutally obvious that nothing will change. The antagonistic tenure that has existed in this past year, as well as the non-trusting attitude of Commissioner Clark, have all contributed to an atmosphere workplace that is not only unproductive but unhealthy. 2 months into this term, I see no apparent change in attitude. In spite of it, our employees continue to produce at a high level and in the professional manner that is expected of them. I know that the negative attitude and antagonistic tone that exists between Commissioner Clark and myself is not healthy and is not productive and is not professional. Feeling very strongly and passionately about the district, I find that I can no longer be a productive and positive force as a member of a 3-man board whose opinions are heavily leveraged against me, as borne out by the consistent 2-against-1 votes in the last 15 months. It is therefore with great regret that I submit my resignation from the office of Commissioner, effective immediately. It has been my honor to serve, and I can assure you that I am not going away. I may not continue in an official capacity, but I will be present. Very truly yours, Thomas G. Gallant.
What a loss.
It's huge.
Well said. It's a huge, huge loss to the district. Huge.
Although I understand Mr. Gallant's sentiments, I feel kind of cheated as somebody who voted for this individual that he would step down so quickly. Just saying.
What? I didn't get that part. I didn't hear the last part, Jim.
I feel somewhat cheated as somebody who voted for him, that he had conflicts with the other commissioners, so he stepped down. That leaves a huge void. I wanted him to represent me, and I'm sad that it happened. I feel cheated.
I thought that he could at least bring some type of balance.
Well, we'll see where the process goes from here.
Yeah, we'll see what the
I'm
process is.
very anxious.
For those of you that did not attend the meeting last night, the process is, the commission has voted to send it out to the papers to advertise the job opening, the vacant opening of commissioner, and they have specific questions that they're going to ask for the person that shows interest.
Does everybody
As
get a
why
copy
they
of
would-
questions?
They're going to be in the advertisement.
Oh, okay.
And so you answer those questions to the best of your ability as why you want to become a commissioner and all of the other questions that they're asking, and then they will look at them on May 29th and determine from there who gets the position.
They opted out of considering those who ran for the position in March.
There were three
one of the questions gonna
options.
be,
One was
do you
to
want to vote
choose someone that had come in second. They quickly said no to that. The other one was to pick somebody that has been in the position prior to, and they quickly opt out of that one. And so they said, well, we'll do this.
I mean, as long as you're gonna play ball in their court and bounce the ball the right way, you're gonna be on the court.
There was
Just saying.
There was quite a
Maybe.
discussion on
We'll see.
the questions last night. It was pretty interesting, the way the question was asked, is why would you put in questions as to specific questions? And a gentleman from Northfield said, why would you ask those questions? Because isn't that kind of, he used the word cherry picking your selection, because if they agree with your opinion or they disagree with your opinion, you can just pick them out.
That's what's gonna happen.
And oftentimes, questions can be leading.
Right.
Just let them, you know.
Why not just, the topic of discussion was, why not just have us submit a letter of interest saying, this is why I would like to become a commissioner, and this is what I can bring to the district, period. But they wanted to have some questions, which was fine.
Do you know what the
Okay.
questions are? Or they hadn't
They
decided?
read them last night.
They read them last night, was like, what do you feel you could bring to the district? Why do you want to become a commissioner?
Did they ask for experience?
No. No, because experience doesn't matter. There were quite a few. It was like you were going for a job, actually.
Yeah, I thought they said, what experience do you have?
Experience
in
doesn't matter, neither
governing
does the vote,
something?
so, there you go.
They really,
I'm
you know,
just
they
saying.
did admit, they did on several occasions say they were going to do everything in open meetings, so.
Yeah, I thought it went well.
Yeah.
They would like to borrow the video next week for the meeting on the 22nd. Till they
I
get
don't
that.
understand why they don't have their meet, I mean, it doesn't matter to me where they have them, but I don't understand why they don't have their meetings here where the equipment is. It's like last night, they had their emergency meeting over there, and no one picked up the equipment to record it.
Right.
Well,
If they'd had their emergency
Pat,
meeting
did-
here, it would have been here.
Pat called, he didn't realize that Kathy was off, was at a class, and so when I got there, he said, Pat, I forgot to call you to ask you to bring the video.
That's what I mean, if they had just
Right.
had it here, it would be here. Those
The
things.
way they're doing it is 6 months on, 6 months here, and then 6 months in Northfield, and then 6 months here, and they've already done 6 months here, so they're doing them in Northfield.
Great, but still,
They don't have the equipment
Unfortunately,
yet.
the meeting wasn't recorded.
They didn't even have a tape recording of it?
Well, I think they might have had some audio.
They didn't.
No audio
Not
even?
that I saw.
No audio, no video.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm just saying, that if they...
And they could have had audio because Glenn was there. They could have asked for audio. They could have asked for the audio.
Or Kathy could have left hers.
Yeah, that little,
See, I know that
It was odd.
She was gone for a couple of days.
she did try to schedule the meeting here,
Yeah.
It was very odd.
and I'm still showing on the calendar that they're meeting here next Wednesday, but Pat said to wait because
He very clearly said it was in Northfield.
they did, don't take it off the calendar. Good, okay.
Last night, I believe it was because there was a conflict in the Conservation Commission meeting over in Northfield. Okay, I have just a couple of things. The executive committee, you okay? Executive committee for the senior center met yesterday, and we voted on officers for the year, and I stepped down as chair. Tom Gallant is the chair. I'm the vice chair, and Iris Iano is going to be the secretary. Also, on June 18th, there will be a spaghetti dinner at the Lockmere Country Club as a fundraiser for the seniors. And that's sponsored by BJ's, who donates the food, and Lockmere Country Club, who donates the room and does the cooking for us.
Time.
5 to 8 p.m. And
it's on a Tuesday.
$10 for the tickets. The tickets will be downstairs, and most of us will have them by tomorrow anyway. I was approached this afternoon as a question, would it be difficult or could it be done to change the time limit on Tyrone Lane, instead of a 30-minute to a 2-hour, like there's 2 hours on the rest of the roads. You know, the 2 parking spaces next to the haircuts for men?
They were put there by the town to be quick in and outs, and that's when the deli was there, but it was also so that you didn't have a car parking there for long periods of time all day long, because it does kind of make it a little bit more difficult for somebody turning in.
So now you have the hair salon, which people, you know, sometimes it's a little bit more than 30 minutes. You can't park there if you're going to go to the hair salon, and you can't park there if you're going to have your hair cut, because sometimes if there's 2 or 3 ahead of you, it's a little more than 30 minutes.
right.
So you can't use that. So it would be nice if, I didn't know how the board felt about it, to open them up. I realized it was 30 minutes a few years ago because of the deli, but now we have the haircuts, we have
I very seldom see a car there now.
a couple of, because
So-
it's 30 minutes.
Right, so
Right.
if you have a car, you know, and it was just for somebody to quickly run in or pick somebody up or go into the deli.
Right.
But so now if we have for 2 hours, you're definitely going to have cars sitting there.
Well, part of the problem that I see is there's been a couple of times that I've gone to turn up that alley to get into the parking lot in the back, and the cars are out far enough from the wall, and then you've got someone parked at the church, you can't get through.
Yeah.
One day I had to actually physically back out onto the street to go on because the alleyway was blocked off.
That's why we only made it 30 minutes.
Well, even
So,
if they sat there like that for 30 minutes, that's wrong, and that's an enforcement thing.
yeah, I mean,
We have an enforcement person down there now. That's why I thought maybe might be a different,
Might be better now.
might be a change in it. It's up to you. I could go either way. It doesn't matter to me.
I oftentimes wondered why it was that we bothered to have those as 30-minute spaces, but I'd forgotten all about the deli.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
primarily,
doesn't exist anymore. People parking there would want extended parking for walking up and down Main Street, the hair place, maybe Paulie's, 45 minutes. It might take you 45 minutes in
Well, it's more than, there's a salon in between the haircuts for men and the, in Polly's, and then there's a salon across the street as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, the thought is that at 30 minutes, you wouldn't have cars sitting there for great lengths of time, and it wouldn't be used that much, because it took us a while to decide
It will
to
be
put one there at all.
Right.
But if you make it 2 hours, you're definitely going to be congesting
abused.
that
It will be for
alleyway,
haircuts,
because
it'll be
it's
for
easy in, easy
something
out.
else.
They don't have to back into traffic or pull into traffic. They can pull right out. You're going to have a car there constantly.
It'll be
So
abused.
now we are going to be congesting that alleyway all the time.
I say no.
Yeah, I'm not inclined to change it just for that reason. I'd be almost inclined, because the deli's not there, is to eliminate it. Or have it an
I don't know.
unloading only.
We're so pressed for parking.
Well,
Oh, we have tons of parking out back. I
Yeah.
never have a problem parking anywhere.
But I think if you left it at 30 minutes, it could be used for just that, for loading and unloading.
Correct.
Like,
I
see
won't change
people, the store owners downtown, they're trying to unload their cars.
I did see that too, I
You know,
agree.
and it would give them some place that they can stop long enough to get all the stuff out of their car. Even,
Yeah.
you know, and I've seen them do that even at the haircuts place, you know,
Yeah.
they're taking stuff in and then they're all.
Then they move it, yeah. And that's, yeah.
I just don't know that we want to encourage full-time parking on that alleyway because it does.
I don't want to.
I don't either.
You know, it's fine as long as you don't have someone parked at the church too, but you put
Yeah.
that mix in and it's not easy to get through there, or if you can.
I think if I saw it, you know, if somebody was parking there 30 minutes, moving and parking there 30 minutes, I'd be inclined to eliminate it altogether. But
I don't think that,
I'd leave it at 30.
I'd leave
I don't
it
think
at,
that's an issue.
I'd leave it at
I
30
don't
for
know
now.
if have they even done tickets in that area at all for the 30 minutes? Has that been an issue, or?
Have been, I don't know how many, but there have been.
There have been? Because people park there longer
leave
than the
it,
30
yeah.
minutes?
Is it clearly marked over there, 30-minute parking?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Consensus is?
No, I ain't changing it.
Just leave it.
Leave it at 30.
Leave it. Leave it. Okay. All right. Sandy, do you have anything for us?
You would have to say that as I put candy in my mouth. Well, just primarily that at the planning board meeting this past week, Catherine Dawson came and talked to the board about a health issue she is creating an ordinance for on kennels, and the board was quite enthusiastic about this. Seems like in all the years I've lived here, it's not been that much of an issue, but all of a sudden in recent times, it has become just that. So the board was very receptive, and we've already started talking about what we can do to our zoning. I did notice under commercial kennels, we do have where it's permitted and not permitted, but we don't have a definition, and this is something we can work on in conjunction with what Catherine's doing. There was also a conceptual that came in regarding having summertime yard sales, or whatever you want to call them, across from the golf course. And he asked for camping sites for, like, during Motorcycle Week. And we did discuss that, and we've been assured that there won't be any parking on the highway, that everybody will be off-site. So we were going to let the chief know that once this gets started, if it becomes an issue, you know, to please let the board know.
When's he going to site plan? He's going to site plan, right?
No, he's not site planning. They're not putting anything over there.
If they're developing the site for commercial use, whether they're building a building or not, why wouldn't they site plan?
They're going to have a parking lot, and you go wherever you want to go to plop your tent to
But
sleep.
where's this, so, I think in the site plan, it talks about safety.
Right, and
So
we
why wouldn't
stress
you
this
site
for-
plan that for, I mean, right, if it's, I'm speechless, I'm sorry. If it's left the way it was as I heard it, and I thought I was hearing conceptual that was going to lead to a
It
site
was
plan,
conceptual.
there's no control about where the flea market is, where parking is, where tenting is, and it could be all mixed in together, and people are going to get run over.
Well, we told them also that this would be something that would be watched.
But wouldn't
But
that...
why
but
wouldn't it be site planned? Just because they're not putting in a building?
Wouldn't you,
It's because it's such a temporary thing.
but hold on
But
a
it
minute, though.
doesn't-
If you're having a flea market, a
Yeah.
camping, and parking and all of that, wouldn't you notify the abutters that that's going on?
Yes, I would think you could, yes.
And I am in a butter, and I'm very concerned
Well,
that there's
I
no,
think-
there's no control of what goes on that site. It's going to be developed for commercial use, whether there's a building or not. Commercial use,
Is that where they have that,
there's
the
no
dirt?
oversight.
And the pile of rocks.
I can certainly take that back to the board. I mean, there's, nothing was said the other night, one way or the other. He came in and he answered our questions.
It is considered a new business, though.
Yeah.
You consider yard sales a new business?
I consider.
It's not a yard sale, it's a
campsite.
flea
Yeah,
market.
it's a campsite.
Campground,
yes.
that's a good
Campsite,
Campground. That's a
So
new
what is
business.
it, what's there, I wasn't there, so what, is it
And they know that
a
vendors have to come
temporary?
in.
Is it just for like a certain period of time, get camping, that's it?
He's
Or is it all
asking
summer?
No, he's asking for camping for the motorcyclists during motorcycle week.
Oh, the motorcycle week.
But our ordinance doesn't say that it has to be temporary. He came in a conceptual and said, well, it was kind of like, well, we want to do this, and we're probably going to do this, and, we'd like to have a place for big campers, and we're going to have campers there motorcycle weekend. There's nothing stopping them from doing it year-round. Nothing.
But he
Nothing
can-
in place.
But he can do temporary camping there.
Without coming in for one weekend.
Correct.
But they were talking about, all summer long. It's a place for people to camp.
But if it-
The
But you-
sales, yard sales were all summer long.
But so wasn't the camping.
I thought he kept referring to motorcycle week.
I think personally, I'd want him to clarify that he's only having camping on bike week, and it goes away.
But you can only do that if you site plan them.
Well, I can certainly, I'll give Gus a
I don't
call
understand the
in morning.
difference.
A campground is a campground is a campground.
Yeah, but I don't understand the difference why, if you're gonna site plan them for
Because we
that
let everybody
specific
do that.
camping,
Right?
We let other people do that in the town. People rent their property out and put tents on it
Yeah, for a
They don't
day
site
or a
plan.
weekend.
for the
right,
week.
but why
For
would
the
you have
week.
to,
Bike week.
but
Yeah,
why would you,
but-
I don't understand why you would require a site plan for that.
If it's a
Not for
campground.
not for just for a week.
Not just for a week.
Okay,
If he's doing
I
it
get
for the year.
This would be
it's-
if he's doing it
it's
all the
over
time.
camping. If he's
doing it
If
more.
he's gonna be
All right.
selling sites all the time, then
That was
yes, he
very
would.
confusing to me.
So,
You'd
they
porta
could
potties and
request a
lots of
letter
stuff.
from him, from the property owner
Right.
being very specific about that.
Yes.
But
and-
but the other thing is he indicated, I thought this was going to be a flea market. Now, it's different if anyone
Flea
of us.
market's set up all the time.
Well,
24-hour
okay, but a
business.
flea market is also on property other than your own. If I set up a yard sale in my yard, or say Helen comes up and sells her goods in my yard with me, we're having a yard sale.
Right.
A weekend yard sale. But now, if you're having an event there every weekend, and the Lockmere Country Club, who owns Jerry Shaley, isn't selling his household goods there.
Right.
When does it become a flea market?
Right.
Well, there's a difference
Are they
between a yard sale
renting
and a flea market.
Exactly, and what is their definition? Are they renting table space?
Right, a flea market rents table space. A yard sale, it could be a family yard sale.
That's right.
A nine-family yard sale, so on and so forth. You're not renting space there. It becomes a flea market when you pay for a table and a space.
Right, so if they're developing this property, are they just out of the goodness of their heart going to let people all over town have yard sales there? Or are they renting table space?
I can't imagine that would happen. The other thing they were told is,
think that
because
needs to
they
be
will have
clarified.
vendors there over Motorcycle Week, that all of those vendors are expected to come in and get hawker
They better do it
peddlers.
soon.
And then I was asked to ask the Board of Selectmen, well, what about Tanger Outlet? They're going to, now the summer fair, we know, is agricultural. It'd be like the winter fair, except
And
it's
don't
going
say
to be
that, it's
summer.
not agricultural.
Well, it's
Farmers market.
farmer's market.
It's not agricultural.
But the board wanted to know, are the
It is.
people, the crafts fairs and stuff that go over there, are they supposed to get hawker peddler licenses?
In my opinion, they are.
In my opinion, they are.
Well, then we need to let the outlet mall know, because apparently they've got several planned for this
I
summer.
thought we did last year. I thought we had the discussion last
I
year.
think that question really needs to come up on that hawkers and peddlers.
Good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
but when is that?
We're going
The 4th?
Yeah.
June
2
4th,
weeks?
because, in 2 weeks, because,
And Bike Week starts the 8th.
but Tanger has several craft fairs scheduled from now until
We should let them know
the
now.
fall.
Yep.
They purchase, a person is there that is hired to run the craft fair, and people pay for a space in this fair, in this spot. And they sell goods not necessarily made by them, but, jewelry and crafts and things like that. It's not anything to do with the farmer's market where you would sell vegetables.
Right.
I can swear, if you look back in the minutes, we had this discussion.
We did have this discussion,
I
but
argued the point.
we didn't
You guys
follow
all-
up. We didn't follow up on it because they had an 84 tent, remember?
We did more than once last year.
Well, then maybe we should have
We
something
said
in
we'd get it
maybe this,
clarified.
maybe this speech, that this class we're going to can help us to clarify. If an organization or the property owner, in this case Tanger Outlet themselves, are organizing this, then maybe there should be something in the interim, instead of trying to make each crafter come in and get a hawker and peddlers, that there be some kind of a license that you're dealing with Tanger itself.
Doesn't allow for that.
No.
Doesn't allow for group license.
Nope.
Who's the person that's doing the class?
Dan
Crean.
Crean is.
There's a couple of
Isn't it?
presenters, and somebody's going to be participating via the web. 2 attorneys.
Well, if they've already got people scheduled,
We need to let them know now.
well, if they've already got them scheduled, what are you gonna do, tell them no?
Yeah.
You didn't tell them no last year,
We'll tell them no this
several
year.
times.
But I mean, it's something that we have to deal with.
It's Attorney Thomas Mullins, City Attorney Keene, Attorney Dan Crean, and Laura Manella, City Attorney, and Warren Hanson, Street Vendor.
Discuss that with him.
Madison, Wisconsin,
Guess what we did?
presenting via audio connection.
He said it was allowed. I don't know, maybe it's me.
You were told it was allowed?
No, I thought
There was a difference,
there was a
though.
discussion.
There was a
about it.
discussion on it, if in fact it was a business within Tanger doing it on their own, but it's not. See, you have one person running the show,
Right.
and now you have 84 people under that one person. That's vendors.
My personal opinion, I don't want it to come anyways, because there's enough traffic there in the summertime as there is.
That's a vendor, and that's the difference. If it were just, there's a hot dog vendor up there that gets a hawkers and peddlers license, that is different from what this is. And it shouldn't be.
Right. Why does the hot dog vendor, he comes in and he does what he's supposed to, but everybody else doesn't?
Correct.
So anyway, I just bring it up because there is already in the works for the first, because I had said something about they're calling for the farmer's market to be every Friday. And And the board had determined that they would say to the chief if this becomes a traffic issue over the course of the summer, because we talked about it, and I said, well, like when it was a winter's market, they were responsible for traffic control, and they had to provide that that would take place. And I said, I would think that it would be the same here. If Friday night that intersection becomes a mess because of the farmer's market, then it would be, they would have to hire people to direct the traffic
Where?
at the
With a
outlet.
traffic light there.
Traffic light.
I know,
That
but
should control it.
it
Yeah.
should, but you don't know that it would
That's
in
true.
totality.
What is it
It
that?
works at
what?
Christmas time when the parking lot's full. So I have to assume it's going
Yeah.
to work for 84 vendors, and that sucks up a lot of parking lots.
But some of
So
those
they can
people
only get so
that
many
attend
people
the
in there.
farmer's market should be getting hawkers and peddlers
The
license.
farmer's market is being held to 30 tables.
Doesn't matter if it's just one table.
Oh, I know, but I'm
Farmers
just,
market, no. Farmers market are excluded from hawkers and peddlers.
Right.
Yes, they are.
No,
They
they're
are.
not. If they're true, they produced from the farm, but they're not.
some of them are, though.
Well,
Some of them are and some of them aren't.
excuse me, every farmer that I had in my farmer's market was their own produce. And I made sure of it.
Just like in the wintertime, when you go in there to buy crops, the winter crops and stuff,
Right.
I
that's,
went through the farmer's market at Agway one day, and it's not farmers. Some of them are, some of them aren't. The farmer's market in the outlet mall, some of them are, some of them aren't.
So should we have Joyce send them a letter
Yes, we should.
yeah.
to warn them that they can't have them? I mean, or do you want to wait till you go to your
I wouldn't wait.
I wouldn't wait.
It's too close.
Joyce? Gangrel it? They're gonna need a letter stating they can't do the 80 vendors, or whatever many of the vendors they're doing.
Get in there.
A letter saying they can't do the what vendor?
They need a hawkers and peddlers for their vendors,
Each and every one of them.
for their craft fairs.
Each vendor needs to get one.
All right, so we can give them, and then we can hand them out to people,
No, they're gonna have to come in here and do a vending.
tell them to come here.
They have to come here. He can't do our paperwork for us.
Nope. He can't
All
approve.
participants.
He cannot approve them. Yeah, they have to,
No, I thought he could hand them out and tell them, go take them to the town hall, but he could just tell them, go to the town hall. Just trying to save.
I don't care if he hands them out, but he
I
can't,
don't care about that, but
he
they
can't
have,
fill them out, he can't approve them.
I know that, I'm just trying to save them
What did you think they were?
Right,
a step, because he knows who they are.
right.
Say, here, you gotta fill these out.
Yeah, he could pick up the applications and get them to the people that he knows are coming.
Seems to me these are all just little guys trying to make a buck, for the most part.
Yep.
I mean, I've been to the farmer's market, I went to the craft market, I've been to all these things, looking around, and these are not big corporations.
Right.
This is the farm in Henniker, this is the guy that makes candles, this is Jim Wells, these are the people that are down there.
And those are crafts, unless he's got bees and he's harvesting wax.
I mean, honey,
He's buying
that's
wax and making candles.
There you go.
So we need
He's
the
not-
hawkers and peddlers.
He's
but
not,
why
make,
are we having this big argument like these guys are doing something bad?
we're
I
not.
don't think they're doing
It's
anything
just
bad.
who is
Well, I
required
just
and
get
who
that-
is
I
not.
get the distinct
It's called
impression, it's like,
equity.
"Rah!"
It's equity.
I would like
You
to
have to
help
treat
them
people
through
the
this
same.
process.
As everybody else.
If we're going to require somebody to have a hawkers and peddlers license, then all those who qualify should.
Absolutely. I'm all set with that, but I
A
don't
lot
want to
of
make it
times-
harder on them, that's all.
The definition of what a farmer's market, if you produce,
Which is the only
for
one.
instance,
What's your own-
wood, if you manipulate the wood more than 75%, that's from your area, and you produce it, you make it.
You
A lot of
produce the
people
wood,
do.
you have to cut down trees and whatever if you sell wood products.
Right.
Okay. You have to have bees and collect beeswax in order to
It's not
sell
what it
cannabis.
says in the hawkers and peddlers ordinance, but that's okay, let's move on.
It's very different from the hawkers and peddlers. This is
But that's what we're
agricultural.
talking about, hawkers and peddlers.
I know.
And it has an
That's why there's-
exclusion
That's why there's,
for things that are produced
Same
from
prices you charge
farm,
everybody else.
exactly.
not crafts.
Depends on how long
Crafts
they're
should get
there.
hawkers
They
and
get the
peddlers.
application in, they're gonna tell you the days they're gonna be there.
Well, if they're there
We
2
charge
days,
About a month, right?
There's usually 4 of them a year. This outfit that does them, there's usually about 4 a year.
well, I'll wait till they come in.
Yeah.
And then
What do we do? Charge $50 for the month?
$50 a month, Sandy, plus $20 for...
So if they're only going to be there one day,
That's what I'm asking. They're only-
yeah, what does she charge them if they're only going to be there one day?
They're still going to get
The
charged.
cheapest price?
The cheapest price,
It's
which is
$50 a month.
I thought we had one for the week. What do we do for,
We don't do it for a week. We've never done it for a week.
I thought we had a price for motorcycle week.
No, they still get charged $50
Wow.
because they get...
I thought I'm
Some of
sorry.
those guys will turn over 45 grand worth of
Oh, no, I
product.
thought because of motorcycle week, I thought it was for the guy that used to be down at the store by the Winnisquam, that's not the Winnisquam house, what is it, Shalimar. I thought we had done it years ago for him.
Had a special
I thought we'd come up with a week fee.
just for the,
Well, maybe we should, for those, there's a difference between just a weekend vendor and,
Somebody's gonna be here for a month.
Yeah,
You could do one for, just have a lower fee than that, maybe cut the fee in half for anybody less than
Guy came in.
2 weeks or less.
and like at the outlet mall, if the same people come back 4 days in the year, if they have 4 over the summer, one vendor's permit, even at half price, would still cover 4 days.
We should look at that.
Yeah, we should. Because it doesn't really seem fair that they have to pay the same price if you'd be there all
$50
all
each
month.
time they come back.
Right.
Let's see,
not
what
worth doing a craft fair.
I don't know, what would that be times 8?
Well,
Yeah, it
but I
isn't,
mean-
Well,
doesn't
it's
seem
200,
fair.
it's 160,000, no,
Yeah.
116,000.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair for
No,
somebody that's
because
just
they
gonna
don't
be.
make that kind of profit in their
No.
goods. Okay,
That good?
All right,
next, I'm done.
Catherine?
Question for the chief, my weekly question almost, Route 3 Manville yard sale, what'd we come up with? Dickie was gonna talk to them, there was some talk about having them have a detail, but I think that's kind of unfair. There's yard sales up and down Route 311.
They don't all block traffic the way that one does.
Oh, yeah, some of them
With
do.
Dick-
You should
I
see it
haven't
when I
seen it.
have one.
I haven't seen it.
Dickie and I went and met with Dickie Clough for an hour. And talked about this, and he promised that he would not let anyone park on Route 3, and that he would keep it all off, and I told him if I got any complaints, would be down there, and he assured me that we wouldn't, and
Is he going to keep it back too, so people trying to pull out
Yeah.
and see?
Not block the line of sight? Okay, excellent.
yeah, no, we were there for a while, we walked the property with him and
Excellent.
everything.
Yeah.
What's the consequences if it happens?
I could shut him down as a safety hazard.
Nice. I've already sent out 3 letters to local residents that the new littering ordinance helped me with. It made enforcing it much more, I don't know how to say it,
Can I use that?
clear?
Can I use that?
That's town ordinance. Yeah, that's why it says, yeah, I forget what it says, but it allows for different people to
And-
enforce it.
Can I just ask you, without going into, so you don't have to give detail in public, exactly what was this used for? I mean, what was the area doing that needed this, needed you?
Trash trash and debris, household things that are just like matches just thrown out there. I think I had mentioned it the other week, there's a trash barrel, actually with the number of the home on it, so they were complying with their ordinance, except it's in the river. And there's trash blown all down into the river, rats,
Oh,
et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll get some response. And I sent them copies of the ordinance. Hunt. No,
Go up there.
okay,
Just go to your right. That's all I'm gonna say.
okay.
I'm just saying.
And that's all I have. I'm good, thank you.
What a crazy meeting tonight.
Oh, it is.
It's like, what, are we all here?
No,
Yeah. You all set?
go to the right.
Are you good?
I'm good. I'm always
Sure?
good. Yep, no,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Oh, we have a change in VIP. O'Reilly's Auto Parts is going in.
Oh, VIP's going out?
VIP's gonna stay as mechanical-wise,
And tires.
and that's it. And then O'Reilly's will be the distributor of parts.
Okay.
Walmart project's going along pretty good. Walls are flying up fast, so. Let's see.
It looks like a bomb went off.
Yes.
I drove by there to go to the bank. It looks like they're all over the place.
I couldn't help notice there was a Gaff Tech truck, a trailer there. And I was wondering if gas pumps are part of that project.
No. At VIP?
No, at Walmart.
No.
Why would Gaff Tech have an entire trailer there?
You sure it's on a water truck?
It's a Gaff Tech.
Maybe filling trucks up.
Oh, they might have their own diesel tank on
It's
site.
not a tank, it's a trailer. Maybe the tank's in the trailer, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes construction
Because
outfits
Gaff
carry
Tech
their
is
own
all
diesel.
about gasoline and diesel
Or it
equipment.
could be a trailer they no longer use and sold. They never took the sign off.
Perhaps.
Is that happens?
I just saw the Gaff Tech
Yeah,
sign.
there's no gas tanks going
We
there.
used to carry our own
Unless they're
diesel.
doing it in the,
That would be bad for them.
yes. Let's see.
Well, I noticed the fire department's been on that side a few times, too. I'm sure they would have noticed if there'd been something that they didn't want there.
What else is there? I sent out more letters today to make more happy people in the world. Besides, everything's great.
It's a little slice of heaven. Okay, so, in Manchester, at that big hotel building downtown on Elm Street on the 3rd and 4th of June, the Northeast Regional Recovery Association is going to have their annual exposition. Anybody interested in recycling, the state of recycling equipment, or anything to do with major recycling effort, you should look into that. They have a website you can check there. On May 22nd, between 10 and 2, there's going to be a job fair at the Agway building at exit 20. It's going to be a lot of people, a lot of companies looking to hire, apparently, and so anyone who's interested in employment, gaining employment, should check that out. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I have a question as a resident. Should I sit in the audience, or can I just ask?
You're going to ask.
Excellent. I've noticed that in my little corner of Tilton, and I am in the corner, there's a lot of wild cats running around. And they're not even wild. They're house cats that I have to assume people are just dumping because they're not neighborhood cats. And I wanted to know what the procedure was for animal control. Do I have to capture these cats and bring them somewhere? Or can I call animal control and they're
Yeah.
going to try and capture them? Or how does that work?
These are feral cats?
These are cats that are just wandering around.
And where
I
are
was
they?
in my kitchen. I had the sliding door open down at my house, and there's at least 3 of them that I've seen just recently. One of the cats walked right in and started eating out of my cat's dish.
hungry.
I said, "Hey," cat walked right over to me and started rubbing on my legs.
That's not a feral
That's
cat.
not
Well,
a feral
no,
cat.
these are cats that are,
Dropped off.
I'm guessing they're dropped off. I've never seen them around before. This is a regular occurrence, and I've actually adopted 2 of them, but I hate cats.
Words out.
Worse than lawyers.
Words
No,
out.
really.
Words out. Joe's house is for cats.
My wife loved cats, so we're good, but 3 cats is our limit. Now, there's at least 3 other ones roaming the property. God only knows what they have around the corner or next door or whatever. And I want to know, what do I do about,
Call Birch Hill Kennel.
call the kennels and they'll do whatever they can, or
Yep,
they'll go,
they'll
yeah,
trap 'em.
whatever, or, okay.
They're trap them, they're required to try to notify owners, but I don't know how they will.
None of these cats are wearing collars.
No, and cats are not required, they are required to get rabies, but they're not required to be tagged. We could do that.
There is also an organization in Manchester that helped out with the West Street problem with the feral cats. And they
Well,
we, sort of.
thank you.
And even though I don't like
They,
cats,
they would bring them down, neuter them, and then clip their ears, so we knew that they would be,
even though I don't like cats, I have absolutely no use for the type of individual who would dump a cat out the door of the car for any reason. Oh, I can't bring it to the Humane Society. I don't care what your reasoning is. That's just
plenty of places that
low
would make
life.
them. That is low, very low.
Well, we have the same problem on Clark Road, everyone that lives along there, because at the end of summer, when all the vacationers go home,
That's,
all of a sudden, these dogs and cats show up, people go through, they drop them out, oh, there's a farmhouse, they'll take it.
Yeah.
Useless
They go on.
bastards.
I
I
get
don't
'em.
even believe that the people would just drive away from
Oh,
their
yeah.
dog.
I get them.
They do. I've had
Sorry.
both strange dogs and cats.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wrap them.
But if you call, well, the last time I called the town, and they called animal control, there was somebody in the area that worked at the Meredith shelter, and they came over and picked up the dog, because, I mean, they're nice pets, but, and I mean, think how heartbreaking it is for the pet. It's like, where did my family go? So, but anyway, it happens, unfortunately.
It's a little early in the season, but yeah, call Birch Hill.
Yeah.
That's it.
All righty.
That's it?
Well, I had almost an hour and a half of your time earlier. So,
Bonus. Excuse me? Bite your tongue.
okay, Economic Development Council. Actually, the Lakes Region Planning Commission is having their annual meeting on the 24th of June, and,
You have the pink slip for Joyce?
well, no, that's my next thing. And last year, they had it at Castle in the Clouds, which was pretty nifty. The food was
Just saying.
mediocre, but
I just wanted to ask you, and I'm asking you because you're the one that has been presenting it. As far as the MetroCast contract, when do we have to give you when do we vote on that?
the last meeting of the consortium is May 30th of this month.
Okay?
At which time the template, which is 95% done, will be completed.
Okay.
You have a copy of what we've got thus far.
Right.
Joyce has worked on the exhibits, Joyce and Tim, where does the drops go, the addresses. She was just asking about sending them over to the chairman, Scott Dunn.
Yep.
And after the last final meeting, we'll have I'll make any revisions to the template, which we are not bound by any of that language if we're not so inclined. This is 12 towns negotiating with MetroCast for the best deal they could get collectively.
Right.
How we deal with MetroCast at that point forward is on us. They'll want to schedule a meeting and make a formal contract presentation and try to get us to go forward. But we'll have to look at what is come up with in the final template and then adjust it according to the town of Tilton, which has mostly been done, but there's undoubtedly going to be some little tweaks or something we'd like to add, or something that doesn't necessarily apply to us.
Okay, and my own,
Islands.
Yep.
I think we have one island in the entire town, sitting in Silver Lake, and I know they have electric, but they have a dish out there, so I'm guessing they're not affected by MetroCast.
I think that island in Silver Lake is in Belmont, isn't
That's
it?
what I thought.
Is it in Lockmere? Wow.
It is.
I mean, Tilton.
It's in Tilton, technically, but in Lockmere.
and
Cool.
I'm just asking the whole board, but I assume that Monday when we meet with the Best Way representative, and when we finish that discussion, then we will decide whether or not we're going to stay with the consortium or move on.
The co-op.
The co-op, I'm sorry.
Speaking of which, there's something that was transmitted to me just verbally by Dennis this morning, was that the NRRA representative, Marilyn, is that her name, Joyce? I think he said Marilyn. Yes, Catherine, did you say yes? No? Marilyn, I believe, is who he said it was. Would like to talk to the Board of Selectmen about our recycling. I think they're concerned at NRRA that maybe we're not, all of a sudden, we're going to drop 300 tons of cardboard. It's not that much, but I mean, how does that affect them? What do we actually get out of the NRRA? And in any case, I don't even know the details. It was a message from her through Dennis to me and now to you, so.
Okay.
Dennis said he was going to be in touch with this person and get her in touch with Joyce. That's where Joyce came in.
Okay.
Chief?
Yep.
Okay.
I got two pinks left here, but hurry up.
Yeah, two quick updates. One is, on June 4th, I'm getting together with DOT to finish that speed lowering project, and we're going to try and include Silver Lake Road, too. I got the trailer down there doing a study. Quick update on the motorcycle. I found one with Seacoast Harley, and AutoServe and Tanger would be covering that again this year. Officer Robinson has asked to ride, and Seacoast has offered to do the training for free, so basically, no out-of-pocket expenses. And
What about his uniform?
Yeah, what about the riding uniform?
The giddy-up clothes?
Yeah, I haven't had to buy him anything this year as far as uniforms go, so, his boots this year would be those boots, instead of these boots. So, a little bit more money, but they last forever, though. I still have the same pair from,
How many of our officers currently are certified to ride the motorcycle?
Dickie?
me,
Luke?
lieutenants, yeah, there's Luke, both lieutenants, myself, and then Gary. But it becomes a matter of who has the availability, and,
So out of the patrolmen, there's only two?
yeah, because we've
Although
all...
Luke's not a patrolman anymore.
Matt, obviously. Matt is certified. But Gary has the desire to do it. He's got the personality. He likes someone who's outgoing and good people person to do it. And so the residents like it, the businesses like it. He goes to all the public safety schools. So,
Are they going to cover the insurance for it?
that just goes on with our cruises. I don't think, does it change it?
Okay. What about the, don't we sign it and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's all included.
That
We're gonna
would
cover
be
that?
included
Yeah,
into
yeah.
what we have.
So there would truly be no expense?
Yeah, no
except for the
out-of-pocket.
Except for the uniform.
Right.
And actually, everything...
And who's paying for the training?
Seacoast is.
Seacoast.
Very
Where we buy it
nice.
from.
And they actually give him like a school bike.
Can we tease him he needs training?
That's a pretty new one,
Who's riding the motorcycle now?
Gary Robbins.
Gary.
Well, he's
hope.
not now.
No,
We don't have it yet, right? Or did we get it
next week.
next week?
Yeah. And then Gary would go to school.
Have we gotten the monies for it yet?
They said anytime. I spoke with Dennis a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
He said, you're all set, so.
Okay.
The Tilton School, are they going to do the spot?
Will we tell them to stop?
They'll
Yes.
continue to do that?
Yep, I talked to Peter about that.
What are they doing?
The
Dues.
the dues, the $2,600 SOU dues.
Oh,
Yep, Peter said he'll keep
They're all
doing
about
that.
that, Kathy?
Ask him to stop. So.
this is the Central New Hampshire Special Operations Unit.
Is there a regular patrol with that motorcycle? Or is it just for show?
No, it depends on the rank of the person that's riding it. If it's a patrol officer, yes. Sometimes
Yes,
with-
what? Yes, it's for show?
Patrol. No.
All right.
Yeah, and I can tell you, having been one for years, I only rode, that's all I rode. No, the weather didn't matter, I was out.
Well, a real man rides his bike all year round.
Oh, my God. So,
I beg to
they're
differ.
actually, the other cost
Hey,
to
I'm
this
just saying now.
I beg to differ with
is
you.
kind of a hidden cost, is that
Well,
we're
not here in New
paying
Hampshire, of course, but
those who ride it to go to events other than patrolling.
It gets back to, if they go to Samerton for their
Yeah.
parade, then I'm gonna bring Samerton down to help with ours. It's just that,
Yeah.
take care of each other thing.
So what are you trying to say?
I actually
I've had a
bring-
lot of people complain about the motorcycle.
I bring-
I'm ambivalent.
I bring more people in to help than we go out.
I'm all about the motorcycle.
I'll make a motion. that
Especially
we
if there's an
allow the police
emergency
department to
down
go
on
ahead
the
and
trail, they
purchase
can
the
get
bike.
in there.
Second,
On that big thing?
Oh, yeah.
I made a
Go
motion,
through school, they take you.
I made a motion
Get
to
out.
allow the police department to go ahead and purchase the bike,
I believe they lease it.
or lease it. Yeah, lease it, don't purchase it.
Yeah, when you
Second.
go- Oh, I'm sorry.
It was seconded by Joe already.
Joe already seconded it.
Motion was made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to accept a donation from Auto Serve and
We don't have it, so we can't accept it.
We don't have any money yet.
Usually, well, I'll bring the checks and then.
We can't, oh, they have to actually donate before we accept the
Right, right,
donation. Okay,
Right.
never mind.
But usually.
Talk
through
about putting
school,
them on
they'll
the
take you
spot.
to the woods.
Yeah, but now if they don't donate, we
Dirt
just
trail.
let him go and lease a motorcycle.
Covered with mud when it was.
Isn't that
I'd like
putting the
to
cart
watch
before the
that.
donation? Technically speaking?
Technically.
One guy got stuck in the mud.
Let's see how that comes
Rask.
out.
But they just want you to know how to do it if you
Think
want to
so?
do it. And I'm like, I can't believe
Nah.
bikes could do it, but they do.
I am surprised because of their
Take
weight,
up donations,
their bulkiness, and
stand there
Yeah,
with my
it's a-
leather
you have to
jacket
give kudos to the guy
Color
that's
is
driving it down that little dirt path. That's a talent.
The black's nice, but the white looks.
Yeah.
You done with this one? You want another one?
Although we once weaved through a herd
Want a fresh one?
Okay. Oh, that'd be great.
at night.
Well, the public.
Okay. Now, for the goodness, is there any more business to come before us in a public meeting? There's no public here.
Pam, any input?
My sentiments exactly. Okay, then I make a motion to enter into non-public per RSA
We want to know public anyway.
91A:3, paragraph 2, B personnel
Yeah, please.
and legal, personnel and legal, right, Joyce? Is that it?
Second?
It's a safety issue because we talked about.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
And we're back. I would like to make a motion at this time to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to legal matters until such time as those matters might be resolved and as they pertain to any personnel issues permanently.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Me.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second
Second,
that one.
I think it's unanimous, but
Yes.
hey, yes.
All right, get on the camera, let's go home.
You know what?
Folks.
We got through this whole meeting, and we're not meeting at 3 o'clock next week. Oh. Shit, that could...